It is another lovely day for baseball as the Lancaster Barnstormers and Gastonia Honey Hunters wrap up a four-game series. The Barnstormers took the opener of this series 5-2 in somewhat of a convincing fashion. Great pitching that night and some timely hitting for the Barnstormers, but runs have been tough to come by for Lancaster the past couple of games, and last night the Gastonia bats turned it loose with 4 home runs, 10 total hits, and Gastonia took the third game of this series by the score of 8-1. Good afternoon from Caramount Health Park, where these two clubs meet for the fourth and final time here in the 2022 campaign. The Barnstormers won 3 out of 4 here last year, and today they hope to come out of here with a split. It will be Brent Teller on the hill for the Barnstormers today. Teller was 5-2 with a 5.14 ERA as a Barnstormer a year ago. He never saw Gastonia as the two teams finished their season series in the first half a year ago, as they will again this year. But Teller came on strong as a starter down the end. He looked awfully good. There was one game he shut out Southern Maryland on 1 hit for 7 innings. Although the Barnstormers could not hold that lead, they ended up losing in extra innings to the Blue Crabs that night. Against the Barnstormers today and taking the field is an old friend, Marcus Walden, the closer from the 2015 second half championship team, making the start today for Gastonia. He has been with the Boston Red Sox, had one highly successful season in Boston where he appeared in 70 games. He won 9 out of the Red Sox bullpen back in 2019. He makes his return to the Atlantic League here today. Right now, we'll send you to the field and our national anthem.
We ask you to please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. We'll begin our afternoon with singing our national anthem. Singing the anthem today, please welcome Michelle Robo.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Our national anthem this afternoon at Caramount Health Park. Here are the starting lineups for today. The Barnstormers not with many options right now, with Ladarius Clark at home for a family funeral, and Jake Hoover is still sidelined. So it's Melvin Mercedes leading off at second base. The shortstop batting number 2 is Trace Lair. Anderson Felice in left field batting third. The cleanup hitter will be Colton Shaver. He will be doing the catching today. Kelly Dugan back in defensively. He is the first baseman batting fifth. Mark Zagunis in right field in the number 6 slot. Andretti Cordero is the third baseman batting seventh. Anthony Peroni today will be the designated hitter. He will bat eighth. And Devon Torrance is the center fielder batting ninth. Brent Teller on the hill, coming off a year where he was 5-2 with a 5.14 earned run average. And for Gastonia, Johnny Davis will lead off and play center field. The middle infielders will switch. Jack Reinheimer gets the start at second base today, and Joseph Rosa will play shortstop, but still batting second and third in the Gastonia order. The third baseman, who's homered each of the last two games, Luis Roman, will bat in the cleanup spot. Reese Hampton, who began the triple play against the Barnstormers in the eighth inning here on Friday night, will bat fifth. He'll be in left. Jake Skoll is the right fielder batting sixth. The catcher today will be Alex Holderbach. He is batting seventh. Chris Owings, the first baseman, will hit eighth. And seeing his first action of the year is Eric Jones. He will be the designated hitter batting ninth. And on the hill is right-hander Marcus Walden, just 5'10", 198 pounds, 33 years of age now, from Fresno, California. He came through the Atlantic League as a Barnstormer in 2015. He was 2-4 with 15 saves and a 2.95 ERA. He was the anchor of the great bullpen that Butch Hobson had put together for the second half of that season and led the Barnstormers to the second half title. Called strike on the inside corner to Mercedes. It is 0-1. He was signed for the next year by the Minnesota Twins, eventually worked his way to Boston and to the major leagues. Swing and a miss. It is 0-2. In 2019, he appeared in 70 of the 93 major league games in which he has entered. He was that year 9-2, 2 saves, and a 3.81 ERA for the Red Sox. Nothing in two. The count to Mercedes. Here's the motion, the pitch high and outside. Ball 1 and 2 strikes. It's the 3 R's, Roman, Rosa, and Reinheimer, third to second. Owings, the first baseman today for Gastonia. Reese Hampton in left, Johnny Davis in center, Jake Skoll in right, and Alex Holderbach behind the plate. Walden has to break for a moment. Mercedes steps away. Melvin is 3 for 12 so far. A double and a pair of runs batted in. He's reached base safely in every game, but failed to get a base hit last night. Here is the windup and the 1-2 pitch. Chopper toward the first baseman. It will actually get through to the second baseman, Reinheimer, who was able to feed Owings for the out. One away, and Trace Lair, the shortstop, will step in. One thing, if you remember about Marcus Walden, he has a sinker that basically it's like trying to hit a cabbage, or as Lance Zawadski has described it, like trying to hit a bowling ball. And Zawadski should know because he was the shortstop behind Walden in 2015. One out here is Lair, left-handed batting shortstop. 3 out of 11 on the season. He has hit safely in every game. Popped up to the third baseman. Fading to his left very quickly is Roman. He makes the catch. So Lair is retired on the pop-up. 2 up, 2 down. And now Anderson Felice coming in against Walden. Felice also was part of that 2015 second half winning club. And as I mentioned back here on Thursday, we're trying to see, and nobody can verify this one way or the other, if Walden and Felice, and by default now Walden, because he hasn't played until making the start today, have gone the longest between appearances in the Atlantic League. Called strike onto the inside corner to Felice. It's 0-1. While Walden has been with the Twins, the Red Sox, and later on last year, the Cubs organizations. It's been the Orioles and the Pirates for Anderson Felice. 2 outs, nobody on. The count to Felice, no balls and a strike. The Barnstormers haven't been chasing that many bad pitches, but nothing but strikes out of this Gastonia pitching staff so far. Swinging a foul, it's 0-2, and that has been the case throughout the series. The Barnstormers have drawn just 3 walks, 2 of those coming in the 9th inning here on Thursday off of Jesus Balaguer. Just 1. Other than that, that was Mercedes in the 3rd inning off of Jerry Keel last night. Here's the pitch, and Felice looks at a ball just off the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Anderson Felice would have played a few different positions behind Marcus, but largely third, so he knows all about the steady diet of ground balls that Walden tends to get out of opposing hitters. The right-hander delivers, and it's swing and a miss over the top. Felice is gone on strikes. The Barnstormers have failed to put a runner on base in the first inning this entire series. And at the end of 1/2 inning, here in Gastonia, the Barnstormers nothing, and the Gastonia Honey Hunters are coming up.
Are you sick and tired of washers that don't use enough water or take 2 hours to clean and don't last more than a few years? Well, come into Gockenauer's in East Petersburg now and let us show you the Speed Queen commercial grade laundry. Built the old-fashioned way with warranties up to 7 full years. Gockenauer's will deliver and install your new Speed Queen, and we know you'll be fully satisfied with your purchase. Gockenauer's in East Petersburg, your hometown dealer for 73 years.
At Clipper Magazine Stadium, we have hot dogs and popcorn, peanuts, soda, and nachos. But what if, say, you are only 3 months old and mom wants to have a night out and watch the Barnstormers? Well, thanks to May Grant Obstetrics and Gynecology, the littlest of Stormer fans now have a place to go for dinner during the game. Tots can take mom to the Little Sluggers dugout behind Section 13 at the stadium for a comfortable private feeding experience. A brightly painted room with comfortable furniture and TVs tuned to the game, it is the perfect spot for baby and mom during a night at the ballpark.
For the Barnstormers this afternoon, 6 foot 2 inch, 195-pound Miami native Brent Teller making the start for Lancaster. He made 5 at the tail end of last season. He had been a starting pitcher in college and especially in the Big Ten last year, pitching for Rutgers. And he had some success in that top-level D1 program, 4-4, and at one point was the Big Ten Pitcher of the Week. He came to the Barnstormers and was, by and large, pretty impressive. He walked 31. That was par for the course around the league last year. Struck out 55 in his 56 innings of work. Gave up 32 earned runs, 5-2 with a 5.14 earned run average. And there were outings where this now 26-year-old sparkled over the course of last season. He had pitched at Sacred Heart in Connecticut for 5 years, 12-17 there, and 4-4 for the Scarlet Knights a year ago. Backing him up defensively, the third baseman, Andretti Cordero, at shortstop, Trace Lair. Melvin Mercedes is the second baseman, Kelly Dugan over at first. Anderson Felice, Devon Torrance, and Mark Zagunas, the outfield from left to right. Colton Shaver is behind the plate here today. Now Johnny Davis prepares to step in for the Honey Hunters. Davis 4 out of 11 in the current series with a home run, a couple of runs batted in. Big night for him last night. 3 for 4 with a home run. Teller's first pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0. Now, all 4 pitchers that the Barnstormers used last night gave up a run before they got their first out. Swinging a foul ball back. Teller obviously looking to break up that streak here in the first inning. Augie Silk allowed the first 3 batters to reach base, and gave up 2 runs in the first inning. The second run coming on the first out on a sac fly. Line drive, diving try, Mercedes comes up short. And now Davis is on with a leadoff base hit here today with the second baseman Jack Reinheimer to step in. Reinheimer, 2 for 4 last night, 4 for 10. Then Ben Wanger and Donald Goodson were each greeted by a home run. And finally, Hunter Spear in his Atlantic League debut walked the leadoff batter, and he would eventually come around to score a couple of outs later. So he did score. He didn't score before the first out. 3 of the 4 gave up a run before the first out. Reinheimer, 4 for 10 overall with a home run last night. Jack just fair down the left field line. The set, and Teller starts off with a breaking ball and gets it over for a called strike on Reinheimer. It is 0-1. The Barnstormers briefly got into last night's game. They were down 3-0 through 2, scored in the third, and had runners at first and second with 1 out. Couldn't produce there. In fact, they sent the minimum of 20 batters to the plate over the final 6 2/3 innings. They had 4 hits and their 1 walk in the first 2 1/3 inning. They got 1 base hit later on in the game. Mark Zagunas' second hit of the night, and he was quickly erased on a double play ground ball off the bat of Cordero. Fastball is up. Teller is even with Reinheimer at 1 ball and 1 strike. One of the many natives or guys with ties to North Carolina on this ball club, like we used to see with Texas natives down in Sugar Land. Here's the pitch. That's high. The runner goes. Throw down by Shaver. is off the glove of Mercedes as he tried to reach for the ball over the sliding Davis. So that's the 9th stolen base of the series now for Gastonia. They've got a runner in scoring position with nobody out, 2 balls and 1 strike. The count to Reinheimer with Joseph Rosa, the shortstop, waiting on deck. Wind blows out toward left field. That is the prevailing direction in Gastonia. You'll see it on the nice days here, and it is glorious down here today. Temperatures right around 80 degrees, brilliant sunshine, and the humidity has not arrived yet. Pitch, a fastball runs outside. Reinheimer now batting at 3-1. Barnstormers have given up 5 runs in the first 2 innings over the last couple of games. That was one of the difficulties that faced the club a year ago, was that they would be behind coming out of the first couple of innings almost on a nightly basis and would have to rally. You don't want to make that a pattern. 3 balls, 1 strike. Teller back to work on Reinheimer, and the pitch is fouled straight back on a healthy swing. 3-2 on the right-handed batting second baseman. Riley Hovis, who we were originally told was going to start today, I guess that was before the arrival of Walden, is from North Carolina. Reinheimer, Reese Hampton, Zach Jarrett. But Eric Jones, the DH today, went to college at Davidson. Ground ball, third base, up with it, Cordero. He looks the runner back, throws to first, dug up nicely by the first baseman. And as I look out, that is Peroni, and that is not Dugan. So Reinheimer out 5-3. Davis staying at second base. That brings on the switch hitting second baseman Joseph Rosa. 2 doubles and a home run so far, 5 hits. He has more hits than anyone else in this series. 5 hits out of 13 at-bats. Teller getting a big first out with Davis not being able to advance. Check swing and a foul ball back. 0-1, the count on Rosa. And double checking my photo of Ross's lineup card, he did have Dugan at first. And Peroni is the DH. Apparently that has switched. Rosa's in at 0-1. Teller moves him back. Ball down around the back foot. 1 ball, 1 strike to the New York City native, Luis Roman. The on-deck hitter hails from Ponce, Puerto Rico. Mercedes cheating toward the hole, was spin by Teller. No throw made, but he had Davis thinking one way or the other. Trace Lair sneaking in behind the base runner. Davis has 2 of the stolen bases coming into today. He's just swiped his 3rd. A ground ball could have been a double play had it not been for that stolen base. Here's the pitch, and that is smashed on the right side past Peroni and a base hit. Davis is going to make the turn and score. He will come across standing up, and Gastonia grabs the 1-0 lead here in the bottom half of the first inning with a couple of sharp singles into right off of Teller. Both of the switch hitters batting left-handed have reached Teller for singles. Around the ground ball by Reinheimer. Now the lefty hitter all the way, Luis Roman, steps in. Roman 2 for 7 in the series. Both hits have been home runs to the opposite field, producing a total of 3 runs. Well, this is the 5th straight pitcher that has come in for the Barnstormers over the last 24 hours now, where the first guy to step in has scored eventually. Into the dirt, knocked down by Shaver, and it's ball 1 and no strikes. Rosa has one stolen base in this series. He's also the only one who's been caught. Teller's pitch down and in. Shaver throwing behind the batter using Roman as a screen. Rosa saw it coming and got back. 2 balls and no strikes. The count to Luis Roman. Reese Hampton is on deck. Gastonia has played tremendously since the 3rd inning on Thursday. They had a total meltdown. Ball 3 up and away, and now 3-0 on Roman. The Barnstormers able to use a couple of errors. They scored 4 runs, 3 errors in fact, and they scored 4 runs in that inning. Since then, absolutely flawless D from the Honey Hunters. They pitched very well with it. Now a called strike 3-1, and they've certainly hit enough. Joseph Rosa now 6 out of 14 with 3 runs batted in here on opening weekend. He's the man at first. 3 balls, 1 strike. The count to Luis Roman. Infield set, looking for 2. The Teller pitch is ball 4, and the throw to second base is meaningless. Or this has led to incredible confusion, and it was, in fact, ball 4. So the runner gets to go back to second base. He was out. It was a great throw by Shaver, and it all went for naught. The tag applied. The runner out at second, or he would have been had that not been ball 4. So Rosa advances, and we're going to have Reese Hampton coming in, and now Ross Peoples is coming out. Now, here is the issue, and I know what Ross is arguing. Still a live ball. After the throw, the lead runner, Rosa, started to walk off the field. Mercedes at that point tagged him, and that is why Ross is out there, and that's why the umpires are conferring right now. Rosa assumed he was out. He was tagged out. He knew it, and started to walk off the field. The 4th ball had been called on Roman. He had the right to second base, but you have to stay there. You can't walk away. And that's the discussion I have to think. Ross is watching the trio of guys in the blue shirts from about 30 feet away, see what they decide. So it's either runners at first and second and 1 out, or a runner at first and 2 outs. And he is out. Rosa is out because he wandered off the bag. And the always alert Melvin Mercedes said, hey, if you're going to give up your spot at second base, I'm going to tag you. And that's what he did. The fact that it was ball 4 becomes inconsequential. The fact that he left, assuming he was out, is the matter at hand. And now the Honey Hunters take their turn to plead their case. That would be Chuck Stewart, the third base coach, I believe, over there pleading his team's case. But it's going to be 2 outs and a runner at first. And that almost goes down as a pickoff, somewhat akin to a hidden ball trick. Break for the Barnstormers right there. It's knowing the rules of the game. It was indeed ball 4 to Roman. That's not in question. Shaver, not sure, reacted with instinct, fired through, seeing an opportunity maybe for an out on the throw at second base, which the Barnstormers would have had that not been ball 4. And they could have runners at first and second, but Rosa got up and left. 2 outs, runner at first base, and here is Reese Hampton. The pitch by Teller off the outside corner for a ball. It is 1-0. but you could see confusion around the field. Roman didn't head down to first base right away. Rosa wasn't sure what to do. Swing and a miss, and Shaver gets off a belated throw as Roman takes off. So they get a man back to second base. And this time, there's no confusion. Shaver just had a hard time finding a grip on a ball. And it's interesting, the best throw he's gotten off in this series was the one on Rosa. And ultimately, it did matter, although it looked like it wasn't going to matter, at least temporarily. So another man in scoring position. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Hampton. Here's the delivery from Teller, and that's low. 2 balls and a strike with another lefty, Jake Skoll, waiting on deck. Skoll is a pure lefty. Hampton is switch hitter. 2 out of 7 for Reese Hampton so far in this series. Teller has yet to retire a left-handed hitter. 2 singles and a walk. Reinheimer, the one right-handed batter, grounded out easily to Cordero over at third. Teller glances back and now fires outside. It is ball 3 on Hampton. So they're a pitch away from getting back to having runners at first and second. Teller trying to find the key to get to the lefties. There's ball 4 outside. He's walked 2 in a row now. And Jake Skoll, he's off to a slow start this year. 1 for 9. He didn't get off to much of a start last year either. He was 2 for 13 against the Barnstormers on opening weekend, but went on to drive in 85 runs for the Honey Hunters. He's got now Roman at second, Hampton at first, 2 outs here in the lower half of the first inning. Already 1-0 Gastonia. Gastonia, after the Barnstormers won 5-2 here on Thursday night, has taken charge of the series. Now, Friday night's game was a barn burner. I think the best baseball game involving the Barnstormers, just from an artistic standpoint, from an excitement standpoint, from a pace of play standpoint, in the last 2 years. But it was a 4-3 loss because of the triple play in the 8th inning. Called strike. 0-1, the count to Skoll. Roman, the runner at second. Hampton is aboard at first. 2 men retired and a run on the board for Gastonia here in the first inning. And the pitch to Skoll is lifted to center, not terribly deep. Torrance racing in. Devon slides, can't dig it up. There is Mercedes backing up. He's going to launch a throw home and prevent another run from scoring. A bloop double for Jake Skoll, but if it weren't for Melvin Mercedes, that play would have been a lot more interesting. Torrance, diving try, the ball got by him. Mercedes all the way out to back up on the play. Roman has scored. Stopping at third is Hampton. Skoll cruises into second. We'll see if they scored at a double, potentially a single and going to second on the throw. But in any event, the Barnstormers again find themselves trailing by a couple of runs in the bottom half of the first inning. Teller facing Alex Holderbach, a right-handed batter. But boy, oh boy. Skoll gets a single and a second on the throw. Called strike. And on Holderbach, it is 0-1. I've got to think Hampton would have been able to score if Mercedes hadn't been right there. And he was out there a long way. No chance to make the catch, but he got that ball on a couple of hops. Bounder foul. 0-2 on Holderbach. Teller and the Barnstormers need this out. 5 of 6 Honey Hunters have reached base here in the opening inning. The 0-2 now. Slider just off the corner, and it's ball 1. Might have been a little bit up also. Ball 1, 2 strikes. Blue pit by Skoll really hurting the cause here in the first inning. The Barnstormers getting the break with Rosa vacating his spot at second, and the pitch. Fastball is high, and now we're at 2 balls and 2 strikes. First base open, but you've got a powerful lefty and Chris Owings waiting on deck. Hampton, the runner at third. Skoll aboard at second. Defense playing back with 2 outs. The motion and the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball left side. This is a tough play. Cordero can't scoop it up. 1 run scores, and here comes a second. Hampton home, so is Skoll. Cordero went wide to his left, got a glove on it, and then that only managed to tip it away from Lair, who would have had no play at first, but could have prevented the second run from scoring. So 2 runs batted in on what should be an infield hit there, and now it is 4-0 Gastonia. And with the exception of the base running gaff, nothing going right for the Barnstormers in this first inning. Mark Johnson is going to pay a mound visit. Lair would not have had a chance to throw anybody out had he come in from shortstop and tried to make the backhanded pick. Cordero had the only shot at that play. And he went wide to his left, but getting a glove on it made the situation even worse. Really had no chance to field it and make a throw. So it's 4-0 with 2 outs. Holderbach the runner, and Chris Owings will step in. Johnson has had his say. The 2 hits, the first 2, were sharp. Then there were the 2 walks, so there were issues already. But the last 2 base hits, a bloop to center and a scratch hit to shortstop or the left side of the infield. And it's 4-0 with Owings stepping in. He played opening night, and we haven't seen him since. He was 0 for 4 then as the number 9 hitter for Goose Gazzo. Teller is ready. He steps, he fires. And it is ball 1 outside and low. Or Connor Owings. I said Chris Owings. Connor Owings. Off of first is Holderbach. The pitch swung on, and this is driven toward left center field, and it's going to die out there in front of Anderson Felice and then bounce over Anderson's head all the way to the wall. Backing up on it is Torrance. Home to score is Holderbach, and all the way to third with a triple is Connor Owings, and it's now 5-0 here in the first inning. Nothing working right for the Barnstormers. That ball wasn't hit terribly well. It died in front of Felice charging the play, and then off the turf, it hopped over Anderson's head. Torrance getting there to back up, but couldn't keep Owings from going all the way to third, and couldn't keep a 5th run off the scoreboard. Now Eric Jones, the designated hitter, will step in. It's going to be interesting to see just how Jones does here in the Atlantic League. He has a career .330 batting average at Davidson. Last year, spent some time in the Seattle system and hit .353, although most of that was at the low levels. First pitch to him, popped up behind first base, and that is going to land fair. The Barnstormers and Teller just snake-bitten as Jones bloops a base hit over the head of the first baseman, and it's now 6-0 here in the first inning. Nobody can get to anything. Johnny Davis started the inning with a smash into right field. 6-0 the score. 7 of 8 Gastonia Honey Hunters have reached base here in the bottom half of the first inning, and the Barnstormers have a long way to get back into this one. This the type of early inning that simply plagued the Barnstormers all of last season. Ball is high and outside. Davis bats at 1-0. Teller's pitch lifted to shallow left field. Anderson Felice coming on, draws a beat on this one, struggles with the high sky, but makes the catch. And finally, this nightmare of a first inning has come to an end. But it's 6 runs for Gastonia, 6 hits. I don't believe there were any errors. One runner was left out on the base paths. The Barnstormers were actually charged with a couple of errors in the inning. We'll get that's some tough scoring. I now look and see that there would have been an error on Cordero and then possibly one on Felice, but in any event, we'll go to the second at 6 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors as it turns out. And 1 runner left on base. We'll go to the second. It is 6-0.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
I have to think that there's a distinct possibility some of the rulings will be changed, but here's exactly how it goes down from that bottom half of the first inning. Davis single stolen base. Reinheimer grounds to third. Rosa singling in the run. Then the walk to Roman. Rosa picked off second base, arguably. Now the first offering to Colton Shaver is cut on foul tip for a strike. It's 0-1. Roman stole second. Hampton walked. So everything good up until that point. 2 outs, runners at first and second, 1 home. Skoll blooped the single into center field. He gets an RBI. Now a ball ripped up the middle and a base hit for Colton Shaver. Opening up the second inning, his first non-home run of the season for a base hit. And now Kelly Dugan, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. So Skoll's bloop single into center made it 2-0. Runners ended up at second and third on the throw home. Holderbox ground ball well to the left of Andretti Cordero was ruled an error. Now they've given Teller 3 earned runs. At that point, it should only be 2 because that would have been the third out of the inning. Fastball is in for a called strike on Kelly. It's 0-1. Runner at first base as the Barnstormers try to embark on a long comeback trail here in the top of the second inning. So the error accounts for 2 runs. Then Owings gets a single and then a 2-base error for Felice. He should get an RBI, and he wasn't given one. Jones, the bloop hit, driving in a run. Kelly Dugan looking at a 1-ball, 1-strike count here. So my scorecard is an utter mess. Here's the set and the pitch. Dugan looks at a fastball outside, and the count is 2-1. I don't think Cordero had much of a chance at a play. He was going full tilt to his left. And then it looked to me like the ball just bounced over Felice's head out in left center when he came in on it. But in any event, 2 errors were charged. At least that's the way the official book reads. Now the scoreboard has 6 hits and 1 error. Down low, and Dugan now with an opportunity to further a rally here in the second inning at 3 balls and a strike. Shaver the runner at first. Mark Zagunis, the right fielder, waits on deck. Barnstormers down by half a dozen, no matter what the scoring rulings were. The set The pitch, and strike two is delivered. 3-2 to Kelly. The Barnstormers now have been outscored 14-1 here in the last 24 hours. 11 unanswered runs for Gastonia. 3-2 is on the way to Dugan, and that is cut on and missed. Second strikeout for Marcus Walden. Last year, Walden started in Worcester. AAA for the Red Sox. He was 5-3, 4.01 ERA. He went to the Cubs, AAA Des Moines, Iowa, and went 1-1 there in 11 relief outings. His ERA was high. Now Mark Zagunis, he had 2 of the 5 Lancaster hits last night, steps in. Colton Shaver, the runner at first, with 1 out here in the second inning. Walden delivers the fastball, poured onto the outside corner for a called strike. It is 0-1. Ross Peoples coaching third, and Augie Silk, last night's starter, is the first base coach for the Barnstormers. Shaver, not too much of a stolen base threat, the runner at first. And the next offering is outside to Zagunis. Ball 1, strike 1 on a guy who also has played for the IO Cubs, but he did not play in 21, so he was not teammates with Marcus Walden there. His stay in Des Moines ended back in 19. The set, the offering, and that ends up being low. So Zagunis has the count going his way at 2 balls and a strike. 6-0 Gastonia in the top half of the second inning. That bottom of the first was an unmitigated mess with balls just dropping where the Barnstormers couldn't get to them. Topper past Ross and down toward the Gastonia bullpen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll see what eventually gets posted as far as the box score is concerned. But the way it stands right now, it makes no sense. Something is amiss. Ground ball down the line at third. Roman gets there. He'll make the long throw from behind the bag. It's not in time. But a great play preventing an extra base hit as the Gastonia defense continues to shine here this weekend. 1 bad inning, and it looks like the Honey Hunters' leather got it all out of the system in that third here on Thursday night. The Barnstormers, though, do have runners at first and second with 1 out. And Andretti Cordero stepping in. Cordero is 3 for 11. 1 run batted in. You want to be able to knock a couple off the lead here in the second inning. You don't need to get it all back, as nice as that would be. First and second with 1 out. And a Cordero fastball, and this is hit well. Left center field, way back it goes, and the Barnstormers are halfway back on a home run by Andretti Cordero, make it 6-3. Cordero, a 3-run shot to left center field. We've seen balls flying out to left here this weekend. Last year on opening weekend, only 1 homer was hit to left field, which gives them up just like right field does in Lancaster. And that was hit by Melvin Mercedes going the other way. This time around, we've seen Shaver, we've seen now Cordero, Ladarius Clark, and a few have left from the Honey Hunters. 3 runs across. Here is Peroni, and the Barnstormers' first baseman takes a strike on the outside corner. It is 0-1. I'm going to have to break out the whiteout, I think, for the final 3 or 4 hitters in that first inning. The rulings confuse me. Foul ball back, Peroni bats 0-2. Cordero with the biggest blow off a Barnstormers bat so far this season. A line drive home run, but clearing the screen in left center. into the dirt. Peroni watches that one, and it's ball 1 and 2 strikes. Walden now, after a clean first inning, has been reached for 3 hits and 3 runs here in the second. Everything's been hit pretty well by the Barnstormers. Zagunis has hit the weakest of the 3. Peroni stays alive, still in there at 1 and 2. Anthony is 2 for 10 with a run batted in. He had the insurance run he picked up in the 9th inning here on Thursday. Defense, of course, back with the bases empty. 1 out. Well, the Barnstormers still have some operating room here in this top half of the second inning. 3 already on the board. The motion by Walden and the pitch, it breaks into the rug. 3 and 2. What a crazy start to this one. The Barnstormers putting runs on the board in a normal fashion. Gastonia bottom half of the first inning was hard to keep up with. Ground ball, shortstop. This should be routine for Rosa. Plenty of time for the throw. Peroni's retired. 2 are gone. And the inning is left to Devon Torrance, the center fielder, who is 0 for 3 so far this season, making the start for the second consecutive game in the absence of Ladarius Clark, who is expected to rejoin the club for Tuesday. No word formally on reinforcements. The Barnstormers are expecting Oscar De La Cruz at some point. Perhaps Alejandro De Aza. Fastball is outside for a ball 1-0. And I suspect we'll have one or the other or both by the time the club returns home on Friday. Right now, the ranks are thin. Fastball is high, and Torrance has a 2-0 count. Now, fortunately for the Barnstormers, who really have only 9 available position players, the double hook rule is not in effect until May 3rd. But you can't even operate realistically with just 11. And there's absolutely a need to make some tweaking to the roster by the time May 3 and a matchup with the Fighting Clyburns down in Southern Maryland rolls around. 2 balls and 1 strike. The count to Torrance. Walden comes back and gets a hopper up the line at first and a foul ball taken by Augie Silk. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Walden is one of 3 pitchers on the Honey Hunters roster, and we've seen now all 3 of them here this weekend with Major League experience. Torrance swings and misses. Walden chalks up his 3rd strikeout, but the Barnstormers reach him for 3 runs on 3 hits, and Dreddy Cordero goes deep. No errors, nobody left on base. In the middle of the second inning, 1.5 in the books. The score is 6-3 in favor of Gastonia.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
Hey kids, join the coolest club in town, the Storm Force. The Storm Force is presented by the Lancaster Barnstormers and Commonwealth Charter Academy. For only $25, kids under 12 get an entire summer of Barnstormers fun with 12 game tickets, a t-shirt and bag, the chance to go first when kids run the bases, exclusive activities, and coupons from Dutch Wonderland, Chocolate World, and more. Don't miss out on all the fun. Go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and sign up.
Well, the Barnstormers managed to bounce back at least halfway with the 3-run top of the second inning. Now Brent Teller has to put a 0 on the board. He'll be facing Reinheimer, Rosa, and Roman. The 3 R's of Gastonia Honey Hunters baseball 2022 style, none of them back from last year, and all off to good starts. Reinheimer grounded out back in the first inning today. Now he belts the ball to dead center. Torrance going back. Torrance still going back. Torrance goes to the wall, and that ball is going to come off the wall, and Reinheimer racing toward third, and he will be in with a 3-base hit. Devon Torrance sprinting back toward the 400 mark, just to the left of straightaway center field, and unable to get there. The ball hopping off the base of the wall. Reinheimer gets to third, and now Joseph Rosa will step in. Rosa slapped the single into right field back in the first inning. Ross Peoples has pulled his infield in. Cordero, Lair, Mercedes a little bit back. Peroni's a little bit back against the switch hitting Rosa, batting left-handed. Ball taken outside. It is 1-0. No action in the Barnstormers bullpen. 6 hits or 7, depending on which source you want to use, the scoreboard or online. Put up by the Honey Hunters today. Now a breaking ball is off the inside edge, and Rosa bats at 2-0. Cordero has been the top hitter for Lancaster. Rosa for Gastonia. Ball 3 now is inside. 3-0. Mario Rosas calling balls and strikes today with Owen Ballard the fourth at first base. Nick Sempert over at third. Here is the pitch, and the fastball is up and away, putting runners at first and third for Oman. Third walk issued by Teller. Roman walked, stole second, and eventually scored last inning. Mark Johnson is going to use his second mound visit, and the Barnstormers do get action going in the bullpen. As I have mentioned, I can see that there is someone throwing. I cannot see who it is. 6-3 already. Gastonia leading. We're just in the bottom half of the second inning. The Barnstormers did a great job getting back in the game in the top half of this second with the singles by Shaver and Zagunis and Cordero going deep. But now trouble brews once again for Brent Teller, who has retired only 2 of the 12 batters that he has faced to this point on the afternoon. Roman stands in, 0 for 0 today. Teller delivers, and he misses the outside corner with his fastball. It is 1-0. He's having trouble getting the pitches into the zone, and when they're there, the result is tending to be base hits. Now a fly ball hit to right field, hit fairly well. It's playable. Zagunis, shielding his eyes, is there to make the catch. Tagging and coming home is Reinheimer on the sacrifice fly, and now it is 7-3. Luis Roman pulling the ball, which generally he has not done. Picks up his 4th run batted in here in this weekend series. Reese Hampton will be the batter with Rosa at first base. 1 out in the inning. 7-3, and just in the bottom half of the second inning. Shades of 2021. First pitch fastball is outside, and a ball on Hampton. He too walked and scored in that crazy home half of the first inning. 6 runs scored despite the Honey Hunters just giving the Barnstormers an out. Lancaster really didn't even have to earn that one except for some maybe heads-up play by Mercedes to realize, wait a minute, he can't do that. He can't just walk off, assuming he was out, and Melvin ran over and laid the tag on him in front of the shortstop position. Two balls, no strikes. The count to Hampton. Jake Skoll is on deck. He had a bloop hit back in that first inning. Way upstairs in ball 3. It is 3-0. Runner not going from first. A strike at the knees. Hampton batting 3-1. Human umpires will extend the strike zone 3-0 and scrunch it on 0-2. It's been that way for a long time. And now the 3-1 is outside, ball 4. Hampton with the second walk he has drawn. That is the 4th given up by Teller, who just can't seem to find an out. Ross Peoples coming out. That's going to be it for Brent. A very disappointing debut here in 2022 after a very strong finish to 2021. The Barnstormers will go to the bullpen. It looks like Tommy Shirley will take over here in the bottom half of the second inning. We'll take a break with the score, Gastonia 7 and Lancaster 3.
Hi everyone, Adam Gochenauer from Gochenauer Appliances, and I'm excited to tell you about a new addition to the Gochenauers family this summer season. We are now selling Titus gas grills. Titus gas grills gives you a high quality, all stainless steel grill at an affordable price, and the best thing is you can assemble it yourself in just 5 minutes. That's right, 5 minutes. Stop by to see this great grill now and mention this ad to receive a free gas grill cover with your Titus grill purchase. Gochenauers in East Petersburg.
Pennsylvanians are creating their own soundtrack. Thanks to PA Lottery Scratch-Offs, excitement's back. Pennies, nickels, dimes, or quarters, no matter your choice, scratching's always in order. With big top prizes and second chance drawings, thrills await. They're out there calling. If it's excitement you seek and you're looking for action, play the PA Lottery. And keep on scratching. Must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Tommy Shirley takes the hill, trying to get the Barnstormers through the bottom of the second inning. It's still a ball game, and the way things are looking today, there's no telling how many runs will eventually be totaled by the time we get done with this one. 7-3 Gastonia at the moment, just in the bottom of the second inning. Teller out after an inning and a third. His official line, and this, again, could change depending on some discussions afterwards. His official line right now, 6 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned, with 4 walks, no strikeouts in an inning and a third. But it's either, if it's 6 hits, if you give Cordero an error back in the first inning, then it's only 3 earned runs. There may be some discussion from the Honey Hunter side about that being a base hit. First pitch is high to Jake Skoll, and it's 1-0 from Shirley. Tommy gave up 3 hits and a run in 2 innings here on Friday night. A long afternoon in the works here in Gastonia. 1-0 pitch, squib toward third. There is Cordero. He'll go to second one. Mercedes back to first. He can't get it there in time. Safe on the fielder's choice is Skoll, who runs very well. Hampton is forced 5-4, and Alex Holderbach will come to the plate. Holderbach was the one who hit the ground ball to the left side, not hit well at all back in that first inning. At the time, 2 outs, runners at second and third. There was no play for Trace Lair, and Cordero went wide to his left, and the ball ticked off his glove. The scoreboard here at Caramount Health Field has that as a base hit. Online, it went down as an error. Fouled back, it's 0-1. And that's the source of the confusion. If that is a base hit, then Teller would have given up 5 earned runs in that first inning, with Felice being charged with an error on the hit by Owings. Next pitch onto the outside corner. And a quick start for Shirley against Holderbach. It's 0-2. The runner at first is Skoll. Shirley will have to keep tabs on him. Being held by Peroni, and the pitch popped up. That'll get out of play down the first baseline. Still no balls and 2 strikes. I can't get over how nice the weather has been this entire weekend in Gastonia. This is perfect. It's so comfortable because there's no humidity. The summer humidity hasn't arrived, but the warm air has, and it's been in the low 80s the last 3 days, mid-70s on Thursday here. The Shirley pitch popped up down the right field side. Here comes Zagunis again, shielding his eyes from the sun, and that ball falls in. Zagunis lost it in the high sky. Coming all the way around to score is Skoll, and Holderbach again ends up on base with a short fly ball that an outfielder cannot get to. Rosa, meanwhile, scored from third easily. The runs belong to Teller, so now we can officially close the books on him. This falls into that general category of, are you kidding me? Well, that'll be 2 runs batted in for Holderbach now. The pitch is a fastball low and outside, and ball 1 on Owings. It goes down as a double. Zagunis lost it in this bright blue, as they call it, high sky that we have here today. Shirley delivers a strike, and it's 1-1, so it just more or less adds insult to injury for this afternoon. Rosa scoring from third on that play, and Skoll coming all the way around from first. Holderbach driving in 2. 9-3. The next pitch is upstairs. It's not that Barnstormers pitching has been exceptionally sharp today, but still, there have been 3 fly balls that have just dropped in front of outfielders. That's the only one you could say should have been caught. Now outside on Connor Owings, who singled in a run with a fly ball that dropped in front of Anderson Felice back in the first inning. And add to that, Eric Jones with the blue pit just over Peroni's head over on the first base side. And it is ball 4, another base runner. Nine to 3. The 3-run homer by Cordero has now been wiped out. Runners are still at first and second with the 2 outs, and Eric Jones will be stepping in. Five walks now issued by Barnstormers pitchers here today. The pitch skied behind the plate. Shaver turns around. Does he have room? He does. Making the catch before leaning into the net. A pop foul off the bat of Eric Jones ends the inning, but it's 3 more runs for Gastonia, this time on a couple of base hits. No Barnstormers errors in this inning, and 2 runners are left on base. We're at the end of 2. Gastonia leading by a score of 9-3.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Mercedes, Lair, and Felice in the top half of the 3rd inning for the Barnstormers against Marcus Walden. And once again, Lancaster has to make up a 6-run deficit. Remember the game last year? The Barnstormers taking on the Long Island Ducks at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and by the time we got through with the 5th inning, each team had squandered a 6-run lead, and Long Island went on to win that one 19-18. Well, this has similar earmarks. The high sky, the wind blowing out toward left. You got that feeling that the run scoring is not done, but it's just that the Barnstormers need to do the bulk of it from here on out. Melvin Mercedes steps in. He grounded out against Walden, starting off the afternoon. The right-hander to the plate and a strike call that's 0-1. One of the differences, and maybe the primary difference here today, Walden has walked none. Barnstormers pitching has walked 5. That is responsible for a big part of this deficit. Here's the pitch, and Mercedes bounces it again to the second baseman, and an easy play for Reinheimer. 1 out. Here in the top half of the 3rd, Trace Lair will come to the plate. Lair popped to the 3rd baseman, Roman, back in the 1st inning. Walden's given up 3 hits, 3 runs. He has 3 strikeouts. And again, it's not like the Barnstormers are freewheeling at the plate and swinging at pitches in the dirt very often. They've done it, but not a tremendous amount. It's just that Gastonia's staff is out there throwing strikes. Chopper foul. It is 0-1. The Barnstormers have faced John Anderson here on opening night. Deck McGuire with big league experience. Anderson has AAA experience. Jerry Keel, AAA experience. Marcus Walden's been in the big leagues. The 4 starters used by Gastonia here this weekend. Trace Lair bats at 0-1. And the pitch to him is registered at the knees for a called strike. It is 0-2. One out, nobody on in the top half of the 3rd inning. From here, a trip to High Point. The Barnstormers are off tomorrow, as is the case with most Mondays, except for the Monday holidays. Lair, a check swing on a pitch down low, bouncer back to the hill. Walden underhands, and there are 2 outs here in the 3rd inning, with Anderson Felice, the left fielder, coming in. Lair and Felice, the 2 Barnstormers who had batted safely in each of the first 3 games. Neither one has been able to extend the streak to 4 as of yet this afternoon, but still plenty of time to go. Breaking ball missing. Ball 1-0. The count to Felice. Colton Shaver waits on deck. Walden had been with Toronto and Oakland and then started the 2015 with Cincinnati. He was released by the Reds, came to the Barnstormers, had a great second half. Once he got affixed into that closer role, that bullpen, the second half, if you remember, the first half ended with the bullpen just in tatters. Walden was part of it, Scott Gracie. Nobody could seem to close out a game, and then just after the second half got started, that bullpen got locked in, and nobody could take a lead away from the Barnstormers. You may remember that pen. It was Walden and Gracie and Andrelzik and Patterson, Blake Hasselbrock, Al Yavoli, Mark Lamb, and I think I'm forgetting one or two, but they had an ERA below 2 for maybe the last 60 games or so of the season. A called strike on Felice. He thought he had the walk, but not the case, and it's 3-1. 2 outs, nobody on board in the top half of the third inning for the Barnstormers. Walden was the anchor of that great bullpen. And a second strike. It is 3-2. And that was the last Barnstormers team to win a half. There have been close calls in 17 and 18. Lancaster was right in the race all 4 halves those 2 years. Couldn't pull anything off. Did get to the playoffs. Swing and a miss by Felice. Got to the playoffs in 18 as a wild card. Nothing across in the top half of the third for the Barnstormers. Clean inning for Walden. We'll go to the bottom of 3 in just a moment with it 9-3 Gastonia.
Lancaster County Motors Subaru once again presents the Subaru Outdoor Experience. Located along the first base line, this space welcomes fans to a different experience while attending games. The Subaru Outdoor Experience focuses on creating social engagement among the fans. Fans will identify with the Subaru Outdoor Experience, which includes games like life-size Jenga, shuffleboard, ping pong, giant checkers, and bocce ball, along with an art wall of kayak, bike, and recycling arts parts and information, a dog-kissing booth, a barbershop corner, and opportunities to engage with the local business that made this unique space possible. Come enjoy the games while watching the game.
Rock with the 5-time Tony Award-nominated musical Rock of Ages at Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, April 22nd through May 14th. When a development company plans to turn the Sunset Strip into another strip mall, it's up to a group of wannabe rockers to save the day and the music. With music from Styx, Bon Jovi, Poison, and more, Rock of Ages features all your favorite 80s rock anthems and power ballads. How can you resist? Call 717-898-1900 or visit DutchApple.com to reserve your tickets today.
Tommy Shirley will stay out for the bottom half of the third inning. All 9 of the runs scored by Gastonia charged to Brent Teller. And again, his official line for today and where it will ultimately end up will be different. Cordero charged with the error on the ground ball by Holderbach. If that holds, then 1 earned run will be knocked off the total charge to Brent Teller for this afternoon. If that gets changed to a base hit, and it might, and I'm thinking the official scorer may have actually called that a base hit because that's what the scoreboard has, then an entirely different story, and he'll give up 8 earned runs and 7 hits. Chopper foul against Tommy Shirley. The top of the order, Johnny Davis, batting for the 3rd time in 3 innings. He was 1 for 2 in the first. He led off with a single into right and eventually scored, then flied out to left to close that nightmare. 3 more runs scoring in the second. The final two of which came on a fly ball that Mark Zagunis lost in the sun. Breaking ball is into the dirt. It is 1-1. The Barnstormers have absolutely had fits with fly balls today. They have not been able to catch very much. That's slapped on the right side. There goes Mercedes. He'll field and then throw it past Anthony Peroni at the first base bag. Good job backing up by Colton Shaver to prevent further harm. Mercedes had to rush the throw. And again, we've got to wait on an official ruling today. And it's going on the scoreboard as an error. Something you will not see Melvin charged with very often. Davis was going to be close to beating that out anyway. First pitch from Shirley, a called strike on the outside corner. Now to Jack Reinheimer, who has grounded to third and tripled. And a deep fly to center, starting off the second inning. Shirley comes set. The pitch breaks outside and low. Ball one, strike one. Melvin went a long way into the hole to field the ground ball off the bat of Davis. He had to rush the throw. Peroni, who played first base in 2019 with Auburn quite a bit, but not so much last year, started after the ball initially, got back to the bag. He was there. Now 2-1, the count on Reinheimer. Melvin rushed the throw. Shaver did a terrific job backing up to keep that from leading to an extra base. A liner out to center is down. One hop to Torrance. Reinheimer with his second hit of the day. The outs just are not coming here. So if Cordero is charged with an error, Mercedes is charged with an error. The ball dropped in front of Felice, a blooper in front of Torrance. The ball lost in the sun by Zagunis. Ball blooped just over the head of Peroni and fair down the right field line. I mean, it has been an absolute nightmare for the Barnstormers defensively. And it's not like they've blown an easy play necessarily. I mean, the ball that Zagunis lost in the sun, you could say, yeah, that one should have been caught. But the couple of errors to the infielders, those were not easy plays in any regard. Here it's first and second, a one-ball, no-strike count on the shortstop Rosa, who was singled, walked, and single-handedly handed an out to the Barnstormers back in the first inning, or that could have been worse. Davis at second, Reinheimer the runner at first. And the Barnstormers just hoping to get out of an inning. 5 batters have been retired out of 20. That is hard to get through. Time is called. But online, here's the kicker. Online, they gave Davis a base hit. So I don't know what to go with. Ball 2 is inside and low, 2-0. There seems to be a bit of a breakdown in the communications, the official score, the scoreboard, and the stringer. And I'm not sure exactly what is official and what is not here. And I'm not sure where to check. 2 balls and 1 strike. The count on Joseph Rosa. There is action in the bullpen now for Gastonia. We may have seen the end of Marcus Walden here today. And the next offering is wide of the plate for ball 3. It is 3-1. Shirley desperately in need of a double play grounder here. Runners take off, pitch belted foul, and that's why they have that guy stationed down there in the bullpen. A line drive snagged by the one reliever guarding the right-hander warming up. Probably would have hit the mound, but perhaps not. It might have gotten that reliever in the leg. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Davis back to second and Reinheimer to first. They had taken off with that last pitch. Joseph Rosa takes the 3-2 and drives this down the left field line. That is going to stay fair. And a 3-run home run. It is now 12-3 in favor of Gastonia. The runs just keep coming. A 6-run first, 3 more in the second, and now 3 in the third without an out. Rosa has his second home run and 4th extra base hit of the current series. So I'll go with what's online here. And now I see in the online scorebook that they've given all 9 runs as earned to Teller. But they've still got 2 errors up. Ball breaks into the dirt, 1-0 on Roman. I'm not sure whom even to ask to get clarification. That they changed Holderbach's to a hit, which it should have been in the first place. Now a ball tagged to deep right. Back goes Zagunis watching, and the walls will not contain that one either. Luis Roman with his 3rd home run of the weekend, and it's 13-3. Break out the abacus. And here comes Ross Peoples. He's going to make yet another pitching change. Tommy Shirley goes only 2/3 of an inning. He gives up 4 hits and 4 runs, along with a walk, no strikeouts. And you don't have a Caleb Gindel or a Blake Galen around. You've got to use the 9 position players to play positions. Well, the Barnstormers are going to go through a lot of the bullpen, it appears, here today. That'll be it for Tommy Shirley. Still nobody out in this 3rd inning. And with another pitching change in the works, we're going to take a break and pause for this.
For the youth of our area, the Barnstormers are offering a wide variety of camps throughout the summer to teach everyone some tips on baseball and softball. Camps are offered to kids as young as 4 and as old as 12. Some even involve the parents. They run from June 11th all the way through September 17. For more information, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and click on the Youth Baseball tab. All presented by Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster and Play It Again Sports.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
13-3 in favor of the Gastonia Honey Hunters, who have now belted a couple of home runs. 2nd game in a row, they've gone back-to-back. Tyler Sullentrop takes over. Still nobody out here in the 3rd inning. Trying my best to piece together the scoring decisions. I do know that Holderbach now has been given a 2-run single in the 1st inning. They still have an error for Felice, though, and with that, Holderbach's run should be unearned, so something is still amiss. A throwing error was given to Mercedes on the Davis ground ball to start this inning. So for Shirley, 4 hits, 4 runs, and 3 earned with 1 walk. Breaking ball is outside from Sullentrop to Hampton, and it's ball 1-0. 13-3 with still nobody out in the lower half of the 3rd inning. Sullentrop deals, gets a pop-up up the first baseline. That Sun's still in play. Here comes Peroni, and he is able to make the catch, albeit staggering, and just missing a collision with Melvin Mercedes. That sun is giving the Barnstormers fits. They didn't see a whole lot of sun during spring training, and it is about as bright as it can get out there today. Sullentrop comes in and gets an out. Now Jake Skoll, the batter. Skoll has scored twice. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI. Holderbach on deck. He's driven in 4 and has hit 2 balls that maybe could have been played. Upstairs for ball 1 on Skoll. It is 1-0. And Sullentrop now misses with a fastball down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. 6 in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third for Gastonia. Into the dirt, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. So it's 11 hits for Gastonia. Called strike. We get the 3-1. Right-hander Sullentrop from Plantation, Florida, the winning pitcher here on Thursday. In that game, he went an inning and a third, gave up 1 hit. That was an infield single. Chopper to short. Lair will hang a throw, and he will get it there just in the nick of time. Skoll blazing down the line, almost beat that one out. 2 are away, and the batter will be Holderbach, who is having himself an afternoon. He has a single, a double, and 4 runs batted in. Neither of the base hits will exactly make a highlight reel. A ground ball slowly hit on the left side that ticked off Cordero's glove and deflected past Lair. As Holderbach looks at a breaking ball on the outer edge, it's 0-1. And then a fly ball to right that dropped in front of Mark Zagunis, who lost it in the sun at the last second. Landed maybe 2 feet ahead of Mark as he got out of the way just in self-defense mode. Off the outside corner, it's 1-1. Both of those would have been the 3rd out of the inning had they been fielded, and Holderbach would be 0 for 2 with a slew of runners left on base. Ball inside and low. It's been that kind of afternoon, and then all of a sudden the home run salvo starts as Rosa and Roman go deep. Tyler Sullentrop works 2-1, fastball up and in for ball 3 and a strike. Three balls, 1 strike with 2 outs, nobody on base. Sullentrop has recorded outs on back-to-back hitters here, and it's the first time it's been done by the Barnstormers the entire afternoon. Fouled out of play. We get the 3-2. "17 of the first 22 Gastonia batters in this game reached base. Sullentrop has been able to cool it down at the moment anyway. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Holderbach. Here's the motion. The payoff pitch is ball 4 off the outside corner. The Barnstormers pitching, giving up walk number 6. It'll bring on Owings, who has an RBI base hit, and a walk. And they did not give him an RBI. I guess I understand that because of the error. Ball one is high, 1-0. So no RBI for Owings. He has a single and a walk, put it that way. Breaking pitch, dances into the zone. The count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Not the way the Barnstormers wanted to get out of Gastonia unless they pull off the second greatest rally in franchise history. And the Sullentrop delivery gets to the outer edge. It's 1-2. Four home runs for Gastonia last night, 2 more today. Total of 11 hits in this one. Check swing, did he go? They'll ask for help and get turned down. Owings batting at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, a little bit of hope there, but realistically, Connor Owings did not go. An unbelievable afternoon so far. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, see you later. Strike 3 called. Tyler Sullentrop comes on, and he is able to stem the flow here in the bottom of the third, but 4 more runs score on 3 hits with an error. And as it turns out, 1 runner left on base. We're headed to the top of the 4th inning. The score through 3, Gastonia 13 and the Barnstormers 3.
This season offers a whole line of new items from Otto's Hospitality. Dig into the world-famous Nathan's Hot Dogs. Take a trip to Otto's Cantina for a walking taco or your favorite adult beverage. Enjoy a helmet of Otto's meatballs or a sausage with peppers from the Broken Bat Deck. For the sweet tooth, there are jumbo chocolate chip cookies, Skyline cotton candy, and ice cream novelties. Or simply snack on Emma's popcorn in a variety of exciting flavors. What a great way to savor your time at the ballpark, courtesy of Otto's.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
13 runs on, we have this straightened out now, 11 hits, no errors, and 4 left for Gastonia. The Barnstormers have 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, and nobody left on base. I can't read the score sheet anymore. I've had to change it so many times, but I now finally have a fix on what these rulings have been here in the bottom halves of the first 3 innings. Spencer Bivens has come on to take over for Marcus Walden in the top of the 4th. Bivens threw 3 shutout innings here on Thursday night, giving up 2 hits and striking out 5. At least now the Barnstormers know what to expect. He is a 27-year-old from State College, 6'5", and 205 pounds is Spencer Bivens. Colton Shaver, Kelly Dugan, and Mark Zagunis stepping in the top half of the 4th inning. Take a look at the other scores around the Atlantic League when we have the opportunity here. Long Island has toppled York 9-4. Hunter Caudell getting the win. Southern Maryland beats Lexington again. The Blue Crabs have taken 3 out of 4. 5-2 the score today. It ended up 21-8, I believe, last night. 21 definitely for Southern Maryland. I think Lexington with 8. Outside to Colton Shaver for ball one. Colton a ringing single into center. He scored a run back in the second. Bivens into the motion. The pitch is there for a called strike, and the count levels at 1-1. High Point up 6-1 over Wild Health, bottom of the fifth. Wild Health has taken 2 of the first 3. Staten Island and Charleston are scoreless in the bottom half of the second inning. Spencer Bivens into the motion, and he locates the outside corner again and has Shaver at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Defense fanned out here. Bivens into his motion. Snaps off a breaking ball. That scoots on past Holderbach, but Colton Shaver, I want to swing the bat. I don't want to try to go to first base on that. That's not my gig. I think the first Barnstormer, my guess is the first Barnstormer who will do that is going to be Devon Torrance from the left side of the plate. That's my guess. Maybe it'll be Melvin. Possibly Clark. But I see it as being Torrance. The pitch, and Shaver gets underneath, lifting a pop-up, and again, having to deal with the sun as their first baseman, but Owings right there for the catch. 1 gone, and Kelly Dugan, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. On the Major League scoreboard, Colorado up 6-1 at Detroit in the bottom of the 5th inning. I think I need to refresh this page. There we go. That's now a final, 6-2 Rockies. That ball tattooed towards center field by Dugan. Racing back on it, though, is Davis, and he'll make the catch. 2 outs, and Zagunis, who's gotten on a little bit of a hot streak, will step in. He has hits 3 of his last 4 ABs. Tampa Bay up 5-2. It beat Boston, in fact, 5-2 today. San Francisco crushing Washington again. The final was 12-3. Miami tripped up Atlanta 5-4. The Yankees bombed the Guardians 10-2. By the way, did you read about what happened at the end of the game yesterday at Yankee Stadium? That is absolutely uncalled for. The fans started pelting the Guardians' outfielders with trash as the Yankees came from behind and back-to-back 2-out, 2-strike, I believe, RBI hits to win it either 5-4 or 6-5. I've seen both. Ball is outside and low, and Zagunis bats at 2 balls and no strikes. Absolutely unnecessary. Celebrate the win. Don't potentially injure the opposing team. That's just ridiculous. 2 balls and nothing. Strike taken on the outside corner by Mark. Make it 2-1. Cincinnati over St. Louis, 4-1, a final score. They're in the top of the 10th in Houston. The Blue Jays lead 7-6. Top of the 10th at Target Field. The White Sox and the Twins are knotted at 3. To Mark Zagunis off the outside corner, and the Barnstormers' right fielder has an advantage at 3 balls and a strike. Pirates lead the Cubs 4-2 in the top half of the 7th, trying to salve the wounds from yesterday. Angels 6, Orioles 3 in the top of the 5th. Oakland 2, Texas nothing in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bouncing ball past the mound. There is Rosa coming in. He will cut down Zagunis. The Barnstormers' last 8 hitters have been retired. Nothing across in the top half of the 4th inning. We're through 3.5. It is 13-3 in favor of Gastonia.
Rock with the 5-time Tony Award-nominated musical Rock of Ages at Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, April 22nd through May 14th. When a development company plans to turn the Sunset Strip into another strip mall, it's up to a group of wannabe rockers to save the day and the music. With music from Styx, Bon Jovi, Poison, and more, Rock of Ages features all your favorite 80s rock anthems and power ballads. How can you resist? Call 717-898-1900 or visit DutchApple.com to reserve your tickets today.
Being over 55 does not mean a ticket, it means 10 with the Silver Stormers Club presented by the Lancaster Barnstormers and Audiology Associates of Lancaster. Anyone 55 and over can enjoy baseball action at every Tuesday home game for only $50 on the season. That is nearly a 70% savings. Members also receive a special Silver Stormers t-shirt to wear proudly at the stadium. For more information or to sign up, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and look in the season tickets section.
Tyler Sullentrop stays out for the bottom half of the fourth inning. He picked up the 3 outs back in the third. He walked one. Tyler will walk some guys from time to time, but he has some terrific stuff and is somebody that certainly Mark Johnson can work with and try to get back to an affiliated organization somewhere. He was released by the Cubs toward the end of spring training. Tyler, 25 years of age. Born in January of 97. Here's Eric Jones, the designated hitter. He has blooped a base hit into right to drive in a run and fouled to the catcher. Ground ball past the mound. Charging the play is Lair. He has to double clutch, but Jones, a catcher, doesn't run terribly well, and there's time for the out. One away. If you do that with this guy coming up, Johnny Davis, you're probably going to lose him. Davis today has singled into right. He's reached on a throwing error by Mercedes, and he's flied out the left.
Rock with the 5-time Tony Award-nominated musical Rock.
Sorry, there's a little glitch in that commercial break, and I forget about that. And there's a fix that I can employ. Breaking ball for a called strike. 0-1. The count on Davis. Tyler Sullentrop missing with the next to go to 1 ball and 1 strike. Working in a hurry is the right-hander. He fires a BB, gets it there for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes is our count here to the leadoff batter in the lineup. Chopper toward third. Cordero has to go up for it as the high hop comes off the carpet, throw to first, and Peroni is able to maintain contact with the bag. They convert the out, and 2 are gone. That'll bring on the second baseman today, Jack Reinheimer. He's 2 for 3 with a single and a triple. Two outs in the inning, and more trouble for the Barnstormers as Ross Peoples and Anya Holmberg have to go out and check in on the right hand of Colton Shaver. You wonder if he got the wraparound on the bat from Davis on that last play. It almost has to be the case. The pitch didn't come through, so we're not talking the ball. It had to have been that the bat came back around. But Shaver is okay. The Barnstormers are largely out of bodies. Sullentrop finally gets to see Reinheimer here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fastball high and inside for ball 1. 13-3. 9 runs off Teller, 4 more off of Shirley. combining to throw the first 3 innings. Sullentrop has been brilliant so far. Breaking ball into the zone, it is 1-1. He's retired 5 of the 6 he has faced. And now a fastball hit in the air, right center field. Zagunis again battling the sun. Torrance cutting in front of him, and it's Devon Torrance with the catch for the final out. Sullentrop gets the side in order here in the 4th inning. Nothing across for the Gastonia Honey Hunters. We're through 4. The score is 13-3 Gastonia.
Are you sick and tired of washers that don't use enough water or take 2 hours to clean and don't last more than a few years? Well, come into Gockenauer's in East Petersburg now and let us show you the Speed Queen commercial grade laundry. Built the old-fashioned way with warranties up to 7 full years. Gockenauer's will deliver and install your new Speed Queen, and we know you'll be fully satisfied with your purchase. Gockenauer's in East Petersburg, your hometown dealer for 73 years.
At Clipper Magazine Stadium, we have hot dogs and popcorn, peanuts, soda, and nachos. But what if, say, you are only 3 months old and mom wants to have a night out and watch the Barnstormers? Well, thanks to May Grant Obstetrics and Gynecology, the littlest of Stormer fans now have a place to go for dinner during the game. Tots can take mom to the Little Sluggers dugout behind Section 13 at the stadium for a comfortable private feeding experience. A brightly painted room with comfortable furniture and TVs tuned to the game, it is the perfect spot for baby and mom during a night at the ballpark.
Andretti Cordero, Anthony Peroni, and Devon Torrance will step in the 5th inning. 13-3 Gastonia leading. 6 in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third. The Barnstormers got a 3-run homer from Cordero off of Marcus Walden back in the second. And it will be Cordero. Line drive home run, just clearing the screen out in left center field. His first home run in the Atlantic League. It will not be the last. This guy, given a chance to play every day, is going to do some damage, one would have to think. Major run producer in Double-A for the Rangers back in 19. Got lost in the shuffle during the pandemic. Never got going last year at Evansville. The pitch, Cordero, big swing and a miss against Bivens, who has been outstanding in his 2 appearances here in this series. Peroni waiting on deck. No balls, 1 strike to Andretti Cordero. Here is the kick and the pitch. Cordero swinging through another. And it is 0-2. We've also reached that time of day. The pitchers might beginning to get a little bit of an advantage because the shadows have crept out over home plate, but not to the mound. So the hitter's in darkness, and the pitcher is in brilliant light. Still 2 strikes on Cordero. Overall, that hasn't seemed to be that much of an issue here this weekend, but it can be, and believe me, it's about as bright as a day will get. 0-2, Cordero with a hopper toward third. Charging in is Roman. He will throw low, but manageable for Owings. Bivens records the first out here in the top half of the 5th. Peroni will come in. Peroni grounded to short back in the 2nd inning. Cam Gann will get the start against the High Point Rockers on Tuesday night. And the weather's supposed to be really rough in High Point Tuesday afternoon, but they've got the turf as well, and they can withstand a blow by the evening. It's supposed to be cleared out, so we should be able to play. Strike on the outside corner to Peroni. It's 0-1, so it's Gann against a right-hander by the name of Jason Mansueta. I'll, for the time being, figure it's pronounced Jason, Jheyson. And another strike on the outside corner. Peroni bats at 0-2. 5th inning of play here today. can't say it's been all Gastonia. The Barnstormers did have that one shining moment in the top of the second inning, but it's been mostly Gastonia. Strike three, a slider again right on the outside corner. Peroni stands in disbelief. Now Devon Torrance will come in. He struck out back in the second inning. Well, here is a situation. If a pitch is bounced and it gets away from Holderbach at all, I anticipate seeing Torrance taking off here. Try to get something going for the Lancaster Barnstormers. 2 outs, nobody on. And it almost happened, but the ball, I think, got Mario Rosas, the plate umpire, in the leg, so Devon could not go. Ball 1-0. The last 10 Barnstormers have been retired since the Cordero home run. Lancaster needs a spark. 1 ball, no strikes. Bivens is ready to go. The kick, the pitch, and taken for a strike. 1-1. But my feeling is if anybody on the Barnstormers is going to test those waters, it will be Devon Torrance. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. The pitch again was in the dirt. Bivens is flirting with it. 1-2. Tough to be one of the guys in the field on a day like this, out there in that sun. And there was the chance for it, but Torrance didn't go. Ball 2 is in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Holderbach got right back there. So we may never see it, except against Southern Maryland. If you don't take off there, when do you? 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Bivens into the line. Here's the pitch, and that is fouled at the plate. Torrance remains alive. It's not far to the backstop here. Perhaps that figured into the calculations. But this would be the ideal moment to try and take advantage of the experimental rule. This one's bounced. Holderbach knocks it down. You can't go there. That would have been foolish. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Devon Torrance. Bivens and Holderbach have basically served up that chance on the proverbial silver platter in this 5th inning, and there's been no taker. 3 balls, 2 strikes once again, and Torrance gets ball 4 just a little bit low. He works his way on anyhow via a more historically normal path. 2 are out, and here is Mercedes, who's 0 for 2 on ground balls. We didn't see the usual scattering of ground balls with Marcus Walden on the hill. He did get 4. Plus an infield base hit for Zagunis on a grounder down the line. So Mercedes is swing and a miss. No balls and a strike. 2 outs, runner at first base. Trace Lair waits on deck. Gastonia leading by 10 here in the top half of the 5th inning. Out of the set, the pitch. That's low, flagged by Holderbach. Ball 1 and strike 1. Seen a lot more home runs this weekend than opening weekend last year. There were a total of 4 in the series a year ago. Gastonia's hit 6 between last night and today. Called second strike on Mercedes. It's 1-2. And the Honey Hunters have 7 overall. And the Barnstormers now have hit 3. Melvin Mercedes batting at 1-2. The set, the pitch, bouncing ball to first, but foul, handled by Owings coming off the bag, where he is holding Devon Torrance. A closer game, and you probably see Torrance on the move here. But you're not risking an out down by 10. You've got to put together a significant chain of base runners right now. The only strategy is to swing away and try to find a pitcher who doesn't have very good stuff. Mercedes swings away and misses. That will do it here in the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. Bottom half of the 5th coming up. We're halfway through regulation. The score 13-3, Gastonia.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Barnstormers go back to the bullpen, and this time around it is Chase Johnson trying to pick up on Tyler Sullentrop's momentum. Sullentrop, 2 great innings for Lancaster, retiring 6 out of 7. He walked 1, struck out 1. Definitely got this game moving along from a defensive standpoint as well as a time standpoint. The Barnstormers do not have to go far to their next stop. Just about an hour and 15 minutes up the road to Greensboro, where the host hotel is when the Barnstormers play the High Point Rockers. A couple of situations where the host hotel is not in the community or immediately surrounding the community of the ballpark. That is one. We stayed in downtown High Point in 2019, and the hotel itself was fine, but the reason that the Rockers moved the visiting teams was because there were stretches in that 19 season where nothing was open, and after the pandemic, it was going to be even worse. There just was no place to eat around the hotel. A couple of interesting, quirky little places that were there that probably shut down in the pandemic, may have never reopened. Strike the outside corner on Joseph Rosa, who's perfect today, a single, a 3-run homer, and a walk. The only bad moment for Rosa was when he gave up his spot at second base and created an out in that first inning. Chase Johnson deals. This is rolled toward the middle. There is Mercedes. He can set for the throw and get the out. Brilliantly done by Melvin to his right. And with one away, here is Luis Roman. He has a walk, a sac fly, and his 3rd home run of the year. Roman has been a great pickup. As a matter of fact, this whole infield has been redone by Goose Gazzo. They're all new. Occasionally, they have somebody back at first base like Stuart Levy, who was a rocker last year. But these, for the most part, are all guys picked up from outside of the Atlantic League. Rosa, Roman, and Reinheimer. Reinheimer, the only one of the 3 with some major league experience, though limited, just 35 at bats. Check swing, and it's low. 2-0 from Johnson with one out here. Nobody on in the bottom of the fifth inning. At Roman was a 23rd round pick for the Padres back in 2017, and the only time he's put up great numbers was in college at Texas Wesleyan, where he was the college division player of the year in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. He had an OPS of 1192 at that small school. Rosa played in AAA with the Mariners. And as I said, Reinheimer a little bit of time at the major league level. Fastball is good for a strike. Chase Johnson tries battling back here. It is 3-1 against Luis Roman. Reese Hampton, the left fielder, waits on deck. 13-3 ball game, bottom half of inning 5. The slender Johnson kicks, fires. That is fouled off. It is 3-2. This is the second appearance for Johnson. We saw him on Friday. He threw a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts in the bottom half of the 8th to keep the Barnstormers within reach. At that point, down 4-2. The game finished 4-3. Johnson with AAA experience. He misses here, walking Roman. The Barnstormers today, get this, that is the 7th walk, and there's only been one strikeout. The flip side, 1 walk and 5 Ks. One out with a runner on. The batter is Hampton, who has walked twice and popped up. He has 1 run scored. Johnson brings this home, and it's skied down the right field line, twisting well foul and out of play. 0-1. Cam Gann comes back around on Tuesday. As we mentioned, it will be DeSabatino and Silk at High Point Wednesday and Thursday. And Teller is slated for the home opener on Friday. Things will have to go better for him there. They can't possibly go any worse. The first 5 batters for Brent in that opening inning were on him. Everything that happened after that was just a series of misadventures. And they continued for the first 3. Now a fly ball hit well here to right center field. Back on it toward the track, not quite there, is Torrance to collect it against Hampton for the second out. Jake Skoll due to step in. It was 2 outs with runners at first and second and only 1 run home for Gastonia in that opening inning when the pop flies started dropping in and the infield squibbers came off gloves of racing infielders. And before you knew it, it wasn't 1, it was 6. Chopper foul by Skoll for a strike. It is 0-1. Add to that the fly ball to right, which could have ended the second inning, and it got right basically in the corona on Zagunis. A pop-up here on the left side. Easier playing them over there. Lair makes it look like maybe not so easy. He makes the catch, though, calling off Cordero. Johnson is through the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left at the end of 5. 13-3 in favor of Gastonia.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
Hey kids, join the coolest club in town, the Storm Force. The Storm Force is presented by the Lancaster Barnstormers and Commonwealth Charter Academy. For only $25, kids under 12 get an entire summer of Barnstormers fun with 12 game tickets, a t-shirt and bag, the chance to go first when kids run the bases, exclusive activities, and coupons from Dutch Wonderland, Chocolate World, and more. Don't miss out on all the fun. Go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and sign up.
Lair, Felice, and Shaver scheduled in the 6th inning as Spencer Bivens is out there for his 3rd inning today. And by the time this day is over, conceivably, he could lead the league in innings pitched. You're not seeing the starters really go beyond 5. He's in his 6th inning now of the campaign, and he has given up very, very little. Lair will get it underway. He has popped a third and hit a dribbler back to the mound. Ian Felice came into today having hit safely in the first 3 games of the season. Neither has extended that streak. Shaver, Zagunis, and Cordero with the hits today. Cordero's a home run. Bivens brings it home, and he is just off the outside corner with that. I thought for a second Mario Rosas was going to call that a strike. He backed up, and then the right arm never joined in the motion. Ball 1-0. This is a strike. Lair bats at 1-1. 6th inning of baseball here today. The Barnstormers, if they're to come home over 500, by all appearances, they're going to have to sweep the High Point Rockers. And they owe High Point. Not necessarily this club versus that club in terms of the personnel, but certainly the franchises. Lancaster lost 17 of 21 back in 19, and High Point won the season series with far more limited number of games last year. Bouncing ball foul. Lair remains alive at 1 ball and 2 strikes, leading off the 6th inning. Well, the Barnstormers haven't made the playoffs, nor has the ball club finished above 500 and a half in 19 or 21. Breaking ball tattooed but foul down the right side. Lair remains alive at 1-2. Trying to turn things around this season. Spring training, very promising. Thursday night, very promising. And you hope to see more of that. Friday night, a great ball game. The Barnstormers just took a gamble and lost in that 8th inning. Lair bouncing ball foul and played over in the first base coach's box by Augie Silk. Still 1-2 on Lair, who spent some time in the Oakland organization. Fastball to the backstop. Speaking of Oakland and that system, I had a chance just a few days ago to talk to Lloyd Turner. He called to ask a question. I hear from Lloyd from time to time, one of the Barnstormers greats from the early years. And he's got himself a wonderful gig. Swing and a miss by Lair. He's gone on strikes. That is number 3 for Bivens. Anderson Felice will step in. He struck out twice against Marcus Walden at the outset of the game. Lloyd has, for a family man, he's the father of 3, and the kids are adorable. His and Tara's. He sent me a photo of the kids. Neat-looking family. Bouncing ball foul off the bat of Felice. It is 0-1. Well, Lloyd, being the family man that he is and the baseball man that he is, working in the industry, but not traveling. He is the hitting coordinator for the A's at their complex in Scottsdale, Arizona. And he simply works with the young kids there. He had managed in the Midwest League, the Beloit Snappers at one point. At this, for the time being anyway, with the kids being little, suits him better. 1-1, the count to Felice. He'll hit a pop-up to shallow left. This one could be trouble. Back into the corner as the wind takes it. Goes Hampton for the catch. Felice is retired. 2 are gone, and Colton Shaver will step in. Lloyd, one of several former Barnstormers who have themselves in pretty good coaching situations in various organizations. Lance Zawadski is the assistant minor league hitting coordinator for the entire Boston Red Sox system. Fastball inside to Shaver, ball 1. Jason Simon-Tachi is the minor league pitching coordinator for the Kansas City Royals. Tommy Everidge coaching in the big leagues now with Oakland. He is their hitting coach. Joe Thurston is somewhere nearby. He's got a new job, and I can't remember off the top of my head which organization. Blake Galen now coaching at the Dodgers complex. Lance Burkhardt is in the San Francisco system now. To Colton Shaver down and in for ball 2. It is 2-1. Game here is 13-3. Gastonia blowing it open early. 6 in the first. Barnstormers got halfway back, and then those runs got canceled out by a 3-run second. 4 more in the third on back-to-back home runs. And this game has almost gone into autopilot. Colton did not go on that. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike for the man who now hails from Panama City, Florida. Born in Colorado, grew up in Utah. And he told me earlier today, all about Panama City. He loves it there. (3-1) line just foul outside the left field line. And we'll get to 3-2. The problem with Panama City, and I always say this, one of those shows on HGTV that I watch with the wife once in a while, House Hunters Caribbean or something like that, House Hunters International, whatever it is. And one of those shows where they'll have this lovely tropical island, in the Turks and Caicos or someplace like that, and build this lovely house. And I always finish it off with, and then the hurricane came. Unfortunately, that can also be true of Panama City once in a while. Ground ball past the diving third baseman Roman. And Colton Shaver has his second hit of the afternoon. There's something like that everywhere. You can build a lovely house in Texas, and then the tornado came. You just have to take those risks. Out in California, you can have your lovely house, and the earthquake came, or the brush fire. Where I live in Virginia, we're largely unscathed by things like that. Right? You can get tornadoes right in the D.C. area, but I'm out toward the mountains and they don't happen. Called strike on the outside corner to Dugan, who was fanned and lined to center. A good running catch by Davis. Spencer Bivens into the wine, and that is swung on and missed. Make it 0-2. Colton Shaver not going anywhere. They still hold him at first base. Owings handling the bag into the dirt. Dugan stays away from that. It's ball 1. This has been somewhat a prolonged inning for Bivens. facing his fourth batter, but he's gone through about 20 pitches. Striking out Lair. Felice flies out with what turned out the deep left. It didn't look that way off the bat. Shaver with the sharp single through the left side. Dugan bats at 1-2. Bivens working out of the set. Deep breath, ready to go. Swing and a miss. Fourth strikeout for Bivens in his 3 innings of work. No runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left for the Barnstormers, and now through 5 1/2, it is 13-3 Gastonia.
Hi everyone, Adam Gochenauer from Gochenauer Appliances, and I'm excited to tell you about a new addition to the Gochenauers family this summer season. We are now selling Titus Gas Grills. Titus Gas Grills gives you a high quality, all stainless steel grill at an affordable price, and the best thing is you can assemble it yourself in just 5 minutes. That's right, 5 minutes. Stop by to see this great grill now and mention this ad to receive a free gas grill cover with your Titus grill purchase. Gochenauers in East Petersburg.
Pennsylvanians are creating their own soundtrack thanks to PA Lottery Scratch-Off's Excitement's back. Pennies, nickels, dimes, or quarters, no matter your choice, scratching's always in order. With big top prizes and second chance drawings, thrills await. They're out there calling. If it's excitement you seek and you're looking for action, play the PA Lottery. And keep on scratching. Must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Well, if there's one good thing to be taken out of this weekend, which has largely gone south, certainly last night and today, is that the Barnstormers should be able to hold on to leads. That is, I think, one of the great takes out of this weekend. You like the way the bullpen looked both Thursday night and Friday night in the ball games that were close. Thursday night to not only win the game and hold on, Sullentrop, then it was Zipchinski, Graham, and Schumann, and then Laporte and Johnson keeping the Barnstormers close on Friday night. And today, Sullentrop and Johnson have put together 3 scoreless innings. So if the Barnstormers get ahead, and therein lies the rub, as Shakespeare would have written. But if they get the lead and have the lead through 5 or 6 innings, things should be in pretty good shape with the arms they've got out there. First pitch, and Johnson blasts that past the right-handed batting Holderbach. 0-1. Holderbach is the guy who's had his horseshoe turned in the right direction today. He is 2 for 2 with 4 runs batted in. Neither one of those hits was exactly a classic. A fly ball that got lost in the sun, as now Johnson angles a slider over for strike 2, and a ground ball that was toward the hole at short, not well hit. Cordero raced across to his left, and it ticked off his glove and got away from Lair as well. 2 runs scoring on the play. Chase Johnson brings home the 0-2. That's bounded to third, and a much easier play for Cordero this time around. Holderbach is retired for the first time on the game. Sullentrop and Johnson have been marvelous here today. We've got 1 out, and Connor Owings stepping in. Owings, now that I finally got everything figured out, is 1 for 2. His fly ball back in the first inning dropped in front of Anderson Felice, and then I thought it had clearly bounced over his head. Apparently the official scorer thought otherwise, and they gave Owings just a single on it, and Felice a 2-base error. Down low for a ball, 1-0. Bottom half of the first inning, really the first 2 innings were just insane. Crazy things going on. Into the dirt here, and it's 2-0. Neither Shirley nor Teller threw well, but things could have gone a little bit better. Two balls, no strikes to the left-handed batting Owens, who's got some significant power. There's a ground ball, and that is flagged by Mercedes in the hole. He deals on. Owens is cut down. And it's amazing what happens. I probably have said this. Well, it's season 17, sitting, talking to you folks, the Barnstormers listeners, and I probably said this about 600 times. But it's amazing how quicker pitching and sharper pitching also produces sharper defense. Mercedes making the play there on Owings. Here's the DH Jones. Upstairs for a ball 1-0. 1 out of 3 with an RBI is Jones. As I said, coming out of Davidson College, one of our former Barnstormers bat boys went to Davidson as the punter. Fly ball, shallow right center field here. They converge. Zagunis will make the call and the catch. And Chase Johnson puts together a quick 1-2-3 inning in the bottom half of the sixth. As I said, we've gotten into autopilot here. We go to the seventh with the score 13-3 Gastonia.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Jesus Balaguer now takes over on the hill for Gastonia as we go to the seventh inning. Spencer Bivens likely to get the win today. 3 shutout innings on 1 single, 1 walk. He struck out 4. And Balaguer is in for the 3rd time this weekend. Balaguer, big right-hander. 6'4", 215-pounder, 28 years of age from Havana, Cuba. Pitched in high A with the Houston Astros. He threw the 9th inning last night, 1-2-3, gave up 2 hits and 2 walks in the 9th inning of play here the other night. There are also a couple of other defensive changes for Gastonia. Hampton goes to right. Skoll goes to center, and Cesar Trejo, goes to left. He'll bat in the number 1 spot. Johnny Davis has come out. 13 runs on 11 hits. No errors for Gastonia. They have stranded 5. The Barnstormers 3 runs on 4 hits with 2 errors. 2 runners left on base. The first pitch strike from Balaguer to Mark Zagunis. He is 1 for 2 here today. Cordero on deck, and then Peroni facing the right-hander. Balaguer delivers, and that is ripped foul into the netting in front of a picnic area down the left field line. Zagunis trails 0-2. Mark with a base hit behind the bag at third. Back in the second inning, he grounded at the shortstop in the fourth. 2 strikes to him from Balaguer. Right-hander into his motion. He fires. It's taken low. Ball 1 on Zagunis, who is now 3 out of 12 on the season. Cordero leads the ball club with 4 hits, and we've got a slew of guys with 3, but it's the 4th game of the season. Well, nobody is really hot. Swung on and missed. Down goes Zagunis. 1 away. Cordero will step in. He hit the 3-run homer back in the second inning, and the Barnstormers appeared to be in decent shape in terms of getting back into the game, and then it all spiraled downhill. Balaguer fires. Cordero fouls that right back into the padding, and it rifled all the way up the first baseline. One strike, the count on Andretti. Balaguer with a breaking ball. Cordero lays off. Ball 1 and strike 1. The lights have been flipped on here at Caramount Health Park. The shadows haven't reached the pitcher's mound yet. Lights on, and the right fielders are wondering why. I assure you of that. That's typically the Sun Field, and it is here. That ball blasted out the left field by Cordero. Turning around and playing it high off the screen is Trejo, and Cordero will be held to a long single. 1 out base runner for the Barnstormers here in the 5th. Cordero with the multi-hit game for the 2nd time. Andretti with 2 hits here on Friday night. Peroni steps in. He's hitless in 2 tries. Cordero simply did not get enough lift. And this field plays somewhat similar to York's. Peroni taking an outside fastball. It's 1-0. The fence in left isn't quite as high. It's 26 feet as opposed to 37 and a half, but the idea is the same. You've got to get it all the way up and over. Cordero missed by maybe 3 or 4 feet in elevation. The ball seemed to still be climbing. Certainly as it approached the screen out there, it was hit awfully well by Andretti. 1 ball, 1 strike to Peroni. Devon Torrance waiting on deck. Balaguer works from the stretch, and the pitch, a breaking ball, bends to the outside corner, 1-2. Peroni went down looking at 3 straight of those the last time up. Lancaster with 5 hits today, matching last night's output. The club had 9 on Friday. That is the high for the weekend series. Into the carpet. Ball 2 and 2 strikes on Anthony Peroni. From my vantage point, it looks like he's being played to the opposite field by the outfielders, but that can be deceiving here. I forget, I'm actually curled back in toward home plate. Ball 3. This is getting me used to High Point because for the next 3 nights, I'll be out in the hinterlands down there in right field. where I can carry on a between innings conversation with Frank Viola and the guys in the High Point bullpen. 3-2 pitch is ball 4 low, and suddenly the Barnstormers have a blossoming rally against Balaguer here in the 7th inning. Devon Torrance will try to keep it going. He has struck out and walked. First and second with one away. In this entire game, the Barnstormers have had one at-bat with a runner in scoring position, and that was Cordero's 3-run homer. And it's the only at-bat in the last 13 innings with a runner in scoring position. Fastball high and outside to Devon. The opportunity grows here in the 7th. Torrance told me he's going to hit a few home runs this year. He had a double here the other night. He's now 1 for 7 on the season. The step, the pitch, that fastball challenged him. He swung and he missed. It is 1 ball and 1 strike. Lancaster with Cordero at second, Peroni at first, and 1 out. If Lancaster makes this game close in any way, shape, or form, credit Sulentrop and Johnson. Breaking ball for a strike, it's 1-2. Somebody else getting ready to come in. And you might see Zipchinski throw an inning here. You can use up your bullpen with the off day tomorrow. You might see Zipchinski in the 7th and Schumann in the 8th just to get work in. They threw on Thursday. To Torrance, breaking ball, and that's strike 3 call. It's up to Mercedes now to extend the inning. 9 Barnstormers have struck out here today. That's the second called third strike. It's up to Melvin. He's 0 for 3. Mercedes without a base hit. Cordero and Peroni once again out to their leads to Melvin. Fastball up and away, and it's ball 1 and no strikes. High Point Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The home opener coming up on Friday against the York Revolution. York is 1-2 to start the season. The Ducks took 2 out of 3 from them at Fairfield Properties Ballpark this weekend. Swung on and missed. It's a ball and a strike. The Barnstormers last year played better on the road than at home. Hopefully this year it will be the opposite. Lancaster wanted to get off to a hot start. It really happened in the 17 and 18. They got off to some pretty decent starts and had first place for a while. Outside, and Mercedes bats at 2-1 here with runners at first and second. It was going to be a tough start to this season anyway. The Barnstormers play 13 of their first 16 on the road. But once we get back from Long Island and get going on May the 10th, and especially once we get to May the 24th, there is an opportunity for the Barnstormers to really make some hay if they can play well at home. Swing and a miss by Mercedes. It's 2-2. Melvin, 2 ground outs and a strikeout here today. Also charged with a rare error back in the 3rd inning on a throw. He had to rush it on the speedy Johnny Davis. If I were scoring, I'd taken and or my guy, or I wasn't at all involved with one team or another, that might be one I would take another look at, just to be sure. Mercedes doesn't reach, and it's ball 3, so the runners can get started here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now Mercedes takes the 3-2 with the runners on the move, pops it up, foul at a play. We'll do it all again, getting toward the 7th inning stretch here at Caramount Health Park. The first 3 innings of this game chewed up a lot of clock. We have pretty much cruised since the home run by Roman that ended the 3rd inning. Sullentrop and Johnson for the Barnstormers and Bivens for Gastonia. Now Mercedes swings and tags a ball out towards center field. Retreating on it is Skoll to make the catch. Hit well by Melvin, but to one of the fatter parts of the ballpark. The Barnstormers are turned away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 men left on base. So we will go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Once we clear the stretch, it's 13-3 in favor of Gastonia.
Lancaster County Motors Subaru once again presents the Subaru Outdoor Experience. Located along the first base line, this space welcomes fans to a different experience while attending games. The Subaru Outdoor Experience focuses on creating social engagement among the fans. Fans will identify with the Subaru Outdoor Experience, which includes games like life-size Jenga, shuffleboard, ping pong, giant checkers, and bocce ball, along with an art wall of kayak, bike, and recycling arts parts and information, a dog-kissing booth, a barbershop corner, and opportunities to engage with the local business that made this unique space possible. Come enjoy the games while watching the game.
Rock with the 5-time Tony Award-nominated musical Rock of Ages at Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, April 22nd through May 14th. When a development company plans to turn the Sunset Strip into another strip mall, it's up to a group of wannabe rockers to save the day and the music. With music from Styx, Bon Jovi, Poison, and more, Rock of Ages features all your favorite 80s rock anthems and power ballads. How can you resist? Call 717-898-1900 or visit DutchApple.com to reserve your tickets today.
Yeah, my suspicions are correct. The Barnstormers bring on Mark Zubczynski to pitch the bottom half of the 7th inning. A savvy veteran of 10 big league seasons, and he's got a World Series ring. Zubczynski, in his 2nd appearance, he got a hold here on Thursday night. He hit a batter and struck out 2 afterwards. The left-hander, born in Illinois, grew up in California, now lives in the Phoenix area. Mark Zubczynski. Now, he goes by 2 nicknames, one being Zep, to save people all the effort of the entire name. And as you go, nobody calls him Mark. Everybody calls him Zep. And that certainly makes sense. Now, the other nickname, and fans know this more than he actually goes by it, as he snaps off a pitch low to Cesar Trejo, leading off here in the 7th inning, in the spot that had been occupied by Johnny Davis. The ball 1 pitch, cut on and missed, and we're even at a ball and strike. But the other nickname is Scrabble. Now, I understand the concept of the nickname Scrabble. It used to be, Doug Gooch had the nickname iChart. I get the idea, but there is a flaw in the concept of Zubczynski being named Scrabble as he deals into the dirt. And Trejo says, I'm not going to take advantage of that rule in a 13-3 game. I want to save it for when the element of surprise might be more crucial in a contest. So I'm going to stay put and it's 2-1. But anyway, the problem I have with the nickname Scrabble for Zepchinski is he has two Z's in his name. There are not two Z's among the Scrabble tiles. You'd have to use one of the blanks. Maybe you could get there and spell out Zepchinski. Called second strike. It's 2-2. Plus, you don't get that many tiles at a time. You only have 7. You might be able to bridge a couple of letters otherwise and make a 9-letter word out of it. But his name is 11 letters. And I've never seen a Scrabble play of 11 letters. And the pitch, he got him. Swung on and missed. Zepchinski with the strikeout. 1 gone. As I say, I think the infield defense for this ball club is really, really good. Cordero should not have been charged with an error on that play in the first inning, and ultimately he was not. And he almost made a heck of a play on it. The one thing that I want to see, and I think Ross perhaps would like to experiment on this over the next few days, who can make that throw from the hole at shortstop? That seems to be the only thing that I'm a little bit antsy about when it comes to the infield. But Dugan is certainly a decent first baseman. I like the way Shaver looked out there. He handles the glove pretty well. Mercedes, Lair, Cordero, certainly Hoover when he's in there, all have wonderful gloves. 3-0 now the count on Reinheimer, the second baseman, who is 2 for 4. 13-3 our score, bottom half of the 7th inning. It all came early. Now Zepchinski gives up the walk to Reinheimer. Something I wouldn't want to type out. I'd use up just a lot of bytes in the computer there. 1 out, 1 on. And here is Rosa, the second of the 3 R's. Back to back to back in Goose Gazzo's lineup. 1 out, 1 on here in the 7th inning. Zepchinski is a big addition to this ball club because not only is he going to do well out of the bullpen, you'd have to figure. He's got that great arm angle, tough to hit, but so much experience, so much to draw on. He's not necessarily the most exceptionally talented pitcher in the world, but he knows what to do, how to get outs. Fly ball that will turn foul down the left field line. Boy, it goes to left field here. Rosa is batting at 1-1 with 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the 7th inning. Zepchinski also just has that natural ability to communicate to other people. He's a very outgoing, forward guy. To the inside corner for a second strike, 1-2. And he's a good backup to Mark Johnson with all these youngsters out there. One ball and 2 strikes. It was funny at the season ticket holder meet and greet, one of those nights, that asked what his favorite sports team was, what his favorite baseball team was. He said, whoever I was playing with at the time. I played for so many. And he really did. Came up with Toronto. Most known as a Cardinal, but made his way through the circuit. Doesn't hold the record for the most teams. That's in double digits. Fouled at the plate, 2-2 on Rosa from Mark Zepchinski. We talked about Barnstormers who had played on winning World Series teams the other night. Zepchinski and Alfonseca. Into the dirt, ball 3. Mark struggling with his control here. 3-2. Reinheimer, the runner at first base with 1 out. Anthony Peroni not holding the runner. We've also had one or two Barnstormers who have played on losing World Series teams. Chopper up the first baseline. Peroni will underhand to Zepchinski, who loses the race. Rosa aboard on an infield base hit. That's a little bit of a shocker, but Peroni had to come in and take that ball on the infield, quote and end quote again, grass, and he was kind of where he fielded that ball in Zepchinski's way. Just another mishap here this afternoon. You wouldn't expect that to happen, but Peroni fed Zepchinski, but I think Mark might have had to slow down for a split second there. And Rosa, like so much of this club, runs well. Here is Roman, left on left against Zepchinski. Ball one is outside and low, 1-0. First and second with one away in the bottom half of the seventh inning. Zepchinski delivers and gets a swing and a miss out of the lefty. It's 1-1. Now here is where Mark Zepchinski earned his bread and butter ultimately in the major leagues, although he came up as a starting pitcher. That was as a lefty specialist. And he might still be at the major league level if they hadn't adopted the Atlantic League's three-batter rule. Ball two. Down and away, 2 balls and a strike on Roman with Reese Hampton waiting on deck. Today's one of those games where you just want to take a lighter to the videotapes and start fresh on Tuesday. Half swing, Tapper up the third base side. Shaver pounces on it, throws, and he's got Roman, a throw behind the runner at second, but Rosa back in there. Nice play by Colton Shaver, showing some agility out of such a big frame. I'm trying to remember my body types that somewhere I learned in maybe high school health class. But I believe that Mr. Shaver would be the classic, if I have this correct, ectomorph. And I'm the endomorph. I think I have that right, but I'm not sure. It may be the other way around. Outside for a ball, and to Hampton, it is 1-0. Contrast Matt Marksberry with Colton Shaver. You get the idea. Two extremes in builds. About the same height, but very, very different in terms of the bone structure. Marksberry, if he didn't hang out in the gym all the time, would go about 6'1" and 150. Colton is just naturally 6'1" and 250. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Zepchinski pitch, and Hampton chases that to make it 1-2. 2 outs with Reinheimer at third, Rosa at second. And Mark Zepchinski with an opportunity to get out of this bottom half of the seventh unscathed. Chase Johnson worked 2. He gave up a walk. No strikeouts for him. 2 innings, 1 walk, 1 strikeout for Sullentrop. Swung on and missed. Hampton goes down, and that gets Zepchinski and the Barnstormers out of the 7th inning. No runs on a hit, no errors. 2 stranded in scoring position. On our way to the 8th inning. And as it has been all the way since the 3rd, it's Gastonia 13 and the Barnstormers 3.
For the youth of our area, the Barnstormers are offering a wide variety of camps throughout the summer to teach everyone some tips on baseball and softball. Camps are offered to kids as young as 4 and as old as 12. Some even involve the parents. They run from June 11th all the way through September 17. For more information, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and click on the Youth Baseball tab. All presented by Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster and Play It Again Sports.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Ronald Pena called on for the 8th inning. Ronald Pena, the guy who benefited from the triple play of Friday night. Again, here's how that inning developed. The Barnstormers were trailing 4-1 going into the top half of the 8th inning. Pena was greeted by an Anthony Peroni single into right. Devon Torrance doubled to left center. Melvin Mercedes drove in a run with a single through the left side. And the Barnstormers had runners at first and third, the tying runs on base, nobody out in that 8th inning. Trace Lair, who coincidentally leads off in this 8th inning, hit a foul fly ball down the left field line. Left fielder Reese Hampton darted over, made the catch. Ross turned Torrance loose from third base, and Hampton fed Holderbach, I should say, perfectly. The throw right into the glove. Torrance had nowhere to go. The plate was blocked, which you can do once you possess the baseball. And that was out number 2. Mercedes had also tagged, and when the throw came home, he thought he could get the third. He was tagged out. And we had the first triple play turned against the Barnstormers in nearly 12 years. It was a fun play to call, but it was painful as far as the result of the game was concerned. Ball 1 is high, 1-0 to Lair. He's hitless in 3 trips. Next offering, and Trace pops this up foul and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Felice is on deck, and then Colton Shaver. Shaver and Cordero, each with 2 hits here today out of the Barnstormers' meager total of 5. Lair had hit in the first 3 games. Is the man on deck, Anderson Felice. Now Pena to the plate. That is cut on and missed. Make it 1-2. Best part of the day is that the bullpen has thrown 5 scoreless innings since Sullentrop came in. And we've seen some good defense behind them as well. Shaver made the good play in the bottom of the 7th. Mercedes ranging wide to his left in one case. There is a hopper on the right side, but they have that hole cut off. And Reinheimer will throw out Lair, 1 away here in the 8th inning. Anderson Felice will come to the plate. He has struck out twice, and he has flied out into the left field corner. Shaver into the on-deck circle. We have held at 13-3 since the 3rd inning and before the first out in the bottom of the 3rd. Felice lines a ball, and it looked like Owings had that come out of the sun on him. It may have touched down. You could, in theory, award a base hit on that because it was hit awfully hard and just handcuffed the first baseman Owings. We'll see how it goes. Colton Shaver will step in with a runner on. The ball was blistered in the direction of the first baseman Owings, and at least on the scoreboard has gone down as a base hit. I would agree. Here is Shaver. He has 2 hits today. Ground ball shortstop. Rosa to Reinheimer and to Owings. That is a double play. Quickly dashing any Barnstormers' hopes here in the 8th. No runs on a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. So we will head to the bottom half of the 8th inning here this afternoon with the score 13-3 Gastonia.
This season offers a whole line of new items from Otto's Hospitality. Dig into the world-famous Nathan's Hot Dogs. Take a trip to Otto's Cantina for a walking taco or your favorite adult beverage. Enjoy a helmet of Otto's meatballs or a sausage with peppers from the Broken Bat Deck. For the sweet tooth, there are jumbo chocolate chip cookies, Skyline cotton candy, and ice cream novelties. Or simply snack on Emma's popcorn in a variety of exciting flavors. What a great way to savor your time at the ballpark, courtesy of Otto's.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
It'll be Josh Graham for the bottom half of the eighth inning. Again, even though this weekend has certainly taken a turn for the worse since Thursday night, there are some positives. The gloves in the infield, Cordero's bat, which looks like it's very promising. Shaver's bat starting to come around. You know that Dugan will produce. Clark will do his share of damage when he's back. Keep in mind, the Barnstormers have played the last couple of games without Hoover and without Clark, and they're instrumental. That's a lot of your middle. The bullpens look tremendous. The starting staff has certainly struggled behind Gann, and that was the risk that Ross took by bringing back the kids from a year ago. Dominic DeSabatino was all right on Friday night. Not terribly concerned with that performance. Silk, once he got his feet wet into the game last night, did all right. Teller, just a complete mystery today, because out of all of those guys last year, Teller, to me, looked the best. And he looked good in spring training, and the start was just a shocker. 9 runs in an inning and a third. But I think Brent will be okay. He needs to shake this one up. Nothing went right for him at all. In the 14 batters that he faced. Here is Jake Skoll facing Josh Graham. Graham with a hold on Thursday. 6'1" right-hander from Roseburg, Oregon. Gets a ground ball. That is handled by Peroni nicely along the line. Graham is there to handle the feed. Skoll retired 3-1. We've got one gone in the bottom of the eighth inning. And here is Holderbach. What a weird first couple of innings for him. And all to his statistical benefit. But if you're going to have a mishap like a fly ball getting lost in the sun, well, have it happen when your team's already behind by several. Graham bounces one, and it's a ball, 1-0. 6 hits now for the Barnstormers today. Felice has batted safely in 4 in a row. Thank goodness Felice and Cordero got here with everything else that's happened. Fastball is up, and it's 2-0. I mean, stop to think about it. Where would this team be without Anderson, Felice, and Andretti Cordero if their visas had gotten held up and Ross hadn't been able to get anybody else in? There wouldn't have been enough guys to fill out a team. With the injury to Kelly Dugan that sidelined him the first couple of games, and then Clark having a death in the family, Hoover banging up his ankle the other night, called strike, and it's 2-1 to Holderbach. The Barnstormers would have had pitchers all over the place in the field. Wanger would have had to have been in the outfield. And not only that, Felice and Cordero arguably have been the most productive bats here. foul ball back, and it's 2-2. More so, ultimately, Cordero, 5 for 14 with 4 runs batted in. Felice is 4 for 16. He's just been consistent with 1 hit in each game. He has a double and an RBI. Cordero's got a pretty sweet glove. Felice has been moved to the outfield. I gotta think that some roster adjustments are needed here. Two balls and 2 strikes to Holderbach. Josh Graham will bring it home. Breaking ball just fouled off. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Barnstormers, for my money, clearly need another outfielder. If De Aza does come, that's the answer. It's still seemingly up in the air. Russ told me they played phone tag yesterday. 2 balls, 2 strikes here with 1 out. Josh Graham to the plate. He is low, and it fills the count on Holderbach. Barnstormers pitchers today have walked 8. Nobody has escaped giving up a base on balls. Teller walked 4. Shirley, Solentrop, Johnson, and Zepchinski 1 each. 3-2 with 1 out here. Graham into the wind. He'll bring home a breaking ball, and it's nubbed foul over toward the Lancaster dugout along the first base line. Visits to the mound take longer here because the dugouts are set so far back. This enormous foul territory here at Caramount Health Ballpark. I love this park. I really do. It's just like in Lancaster. You can walk the 360 here, and it's a terrific little tour of the stadium. Ball 4 is inside, and the base on ball bug bites Josh Graham as well. 9 given up by the Barnstormers today to go along with just 3 strikeouts. Connor Owings comes to the plate. He is 1 for 3. A bloop hit out the left center field back in the first inning. Touchdown in front of Felice, and then hop past the left fielder for a 2-base error. That was the ruling anyhow. Peroni drops behind Holderbach, and now a strike at the knees on Owings. It is 0-1. Eric Jones, the DH, on deck. Johnson with a 1-out walk in the 5th, then Zepchinski in the 7th, and Graham in the 8th. Breaking ball twists over. He's got Owings at 0-2. Josh Graham out of the Atlanta organization spent quite a bit of time in the Southern League, or as it was last year, Double-A South, Southeast. Double-A South, I think they call it. Thank goodness they're back to the original names. As somebody who grew up watching International League Baseball, the thought of my beloved hometown Rochester Red Wings not being in the International League just made me do a little bristle. Ball 2 is outside 2-2 at the sterile name of AAA East. But apparently there were, as I read during the winter, and I didn't quite grasp the idea, but there was a legal complication with using the traditional names last year. Swung on and missed. Graham puts away Owings. Josh gets the strikeout, and now Jones will step in. He is 1 for 4 with a run batted in. Everything that happened in that 6-run first inning, perhaps the most excruciating moment, was just after the Owings single fell in left and jumped past Felice to produce the 5th run of the inning. Jones then completely mishit a ball and dropped it just fair down the right field line, probably only 10 feet past the infield. Grounded foul, strike 1 to him. Bottom of the 8th inning, it is 13-3, and it's been that way for quite some time. Graham works out of the set. The pitch to Jones bends low. Ball one, strike one. As I said, the Barnstormers, to me, clearly need another outfielder. And that will shore things up. They've got to get a position player anyway. You can't go with 11 with the double hook rule. That just is not even fathomable. Breaking ball for a strike. Graham has Jones at 1 and 2. And you realistically should have 13 position players, and that may hopefully be the case by the time May 3rd rolls around, but you can deal with 12. You can't operate with 11. Foul ball back, still 1 and 2. Especially if one or two guys goes down. Now, you do get to keep the DH if your starter goes 5. That's the new twist here in 2022. The Barnstormers also, it looks like, may need some help in the starting rotation. Niall Ball will be making a start next Saturday in the number 5 spot in the rotation, but he's only the number 5 because of a little injury to his hamstring, and they're trying to keep that from getting worse. It happened, I believe, on the very first play in the spring training game against Southern Maryland that he started. He came out after an inning and spent the rest of the spring games charting. Here's a 2-2. Graham delivers low again to Jones. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Holderbach, the runner at first, and he is very, very free to go, but I doubt you'll see him break loose at full tilt. He'll break into a jog at about, well, Dave Collins' speed. Three balls, 2 strikes. Holderbach takes off, and it's ball 4. Graham walks a second. That's 10 now from the Barnstormers staff in this game, and Ross Peoples will be doing a slow burn about that for the remainder of the day anyhow. Here is Cesar Trejo batting for the second time. Trejo, a strikeout victim against Zepchinski back in the 7th. 13-3, but there have been 23 base runners for Gastonia today. 12 hits, 10 walks, 1 reaching on an error. The Barnstormers have had 8, so in ways it's even worse than the 13-3 score. Holderbach at second, Jones the runner at first. Trejo digs in with that wind blowing favorably out toward left. Graham fires and delivers a strike on his fastball. It is 0-1. Graham right now is in the setup role for the Barnstormers. The 8th inning guy. Zepchinski used before that, but that could easily be altered depending on the game situation. Grounder to the shortstop. Lair will feed Mercedes. So Graham posts the scoreless inning in the long run, 6-4 for the force out. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 men left on base. Gastonia has been cooled off by the last 4 Barnstormers pitchers. We get to go to the 9th inning here at Caramount Health Park. Arguably the last half inning we'll see here during the 2022 year, certainly during the regular season. The score, Gastonia 13 and Lancaster 3.
This season offers a whole line of new items from Otto's Hospitality. Dig into the world-famous Nathan's Hot Dogs. Take a trip to Otto's Cantina for a walking taco or your favorite adult beverage. Enjoy a helmet of Otto's meatballs or a sausage with peppers from the Broken Bat Deck for the sweet tooth There are jumbo chocolate chip cookies, Skyline cotton candy, and ice cream novelties. Or simply snack on Emma's popcorn in a variety of exciting flavors. What a great way to savor your time at the ballpark, courtesy of Otto's.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
Well, the Barnstormers declined to use Scott Schumann today to hold him for the High Point Series. The closer for Gastonia, Jimmy Sherfy, has come on. He got the save on Friday night, albeit a little bit dubious one. Not altogether his fault. He gave up the home run to Shaver to bring Lancaster within one. That was on him, as Colton Shaver put one up through the flagpoles out in left field. But the tying run did get to first base after that, as Cordero reached on a drop third strike. That really wasn't on Sherfy because it was a strikeout and a passed ball. Kelly Dugan, Mark Zagunis, and Andretti Cordero here in the ninth inning. Cordero has had a pretty fine day at the plate. 13-3. The hits are only 12-6. That looks a little bit better. Outside for a ball to Dugan, 1-0. Kelly has struck out twice, lined to center on a running play by Davis back in the fourth inning. 1 out of 7 on the young season. No worries about Dugan. You know what he did last year. Swung on and missed, and it's 1-1. But early in the year, he had just started to get into a groove in the spring camp after going over for his first 11, and then ended up being shut down because of the slight calf strain and trying to pull it all back together and get that rhythm going again. Ball 2, high and outside, 2-1. Lancaster has been down by 10 since before the first out in the bottom of the third inning. Neither team has scored since then. Here is the pitch. Ground ball pulled foul, and it's 2-2. I think I'm in Charleston. A Ric Flair war whoop or whatever you call it. They do it all the time at Appalachian Power Park. 2-2 on Kelly Dugan. Sherfy ready to go. The Genomes, I believe, are coming in here next. They have a 10-game homestand to start the season here in Gastonia. Outside, and Dugan has worked the count to full, 3-2. The Barnstormers 13 out of 16 on the road to start, and then after August 15th, the club vanishes for a while. Won 3-game home series against York in about 4 weeks. Swung on and missed. Dugan has gone on strikes for the third time today. That is 10 strikeouts now for Gastonia pitching. One away, Zagunis comes in. Marks 1 for 3 with a run scored. Cordero has had the big day. He's on deck. The motion, the pitch, and down and away to Zagunis for ball 1 and no strikes. Not a flashy player, Zagunis, but just a very solid one. Guy who's probably going to hit 280 to 300, I would think, while he's here. Slider for a strike. It's 1-1 at the moment, 231. He'll hit for some power. It won't be a tremendous amount. just a good, steady outfielder. And if need be, you can move him behind the plate. 1-1. Ground ball pulled foul past third. It's 1-2. He caught in the Cubs organization. One ball, two strikes on Mark Zagunis. Sherfy ready to go. He steps, he fires, and Mark takes low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Barnstormers stretched some innings out in the 5, 6, and 7. Last inning, Ronald Pena needed only 5 pitches. A ground out, a single into right, and then a first pitch double play out of Shaver. Zagunis bats at 2-2. Whoa, look out. That was the last thing the Barnstormers would have needed. I'm told by the Vice President, General Manager, CEO, I think he carries all the titles here, David Martin. The crowd today, 1768 at Caramount Health Park. It's been about the same all 4 games of this opening homestand. This is a smaller community down here in Gastonia. Swung on and missed. Zagunis has gone on strike. Sherfy is fan 2. He struck out 3 the other night. And Andretti Cordero will be the final hope. He is 2 for 3, a 3-run homer, a ground out, and a single. This Gastonia ball club is loaded. They are clearly ready to compete here in the Southern Division here in 2022. You can never gauge how a season is going to go off of one series. We'll have a much better idea by the time the Barnstormers get through the next road trip. By then, we'll have played York, Long Island, and Southern Maryland. 0-1 on Cordero. If the Barnstormers can stick right around 500 for these first 16 games, it'll be okay. And the delivery just misses. Cordero bats at 1-1. The only Barnstormer with 5 hits in this series. He leads with the 4 runs batted in. Ross found himself a good one in Cordero. Fastball. Did he turn the bat far enough? He did. The bat came around with the body as Cordero tried to get out of the way. The old idea of you have to break your wrists is not accurate. The barrel of the bat just has to come across the zone. And it did with the body. So it's 1-2. The Barnstormers down to a final strike here today. Sherfy will fire, and that ball is rocked out the left field again. Retreating on this is Trejo, and the walls will not contain it. What a day at the plate for Andretti Cordero. It's 13-4. We have the first run since the 3rd inning. Sherfy has given up 2 home runs now to the Barnstormers in his 2 appearances, and he struck out 5. Cordero is having himself a day, 13-4. Remember, he has 2 home runs and a single, but the single bounced high off the screen and straightaway left. He has given 3 a ride. The batter is Peroni, 0 for 2 with a walk. The problem is, in Lancaster, it's a whole different story. They might all have stayed in the yard. In Lancaster, he might have 3 doubles. There's a good chance he'd have 3 doubles. Tough to get him out the left at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Shaver's already shown he can do it. The offering and the fastball is good. Anthony Peroni bats at 0-2. 13-4, but again, the Barnstormers down to their final strike. Peroni 0 for 2 in the contest today. And the pitch barely missing the inside corner. It's ball one. The Gastonia Honey Hunters now are in the midst of their 33rd consecutive inning without committing an error. You won't see that on opening weekend very often, as teams are just getting used to one another still. But what a defensive show this club's put on their strike three on a breaking ball. And the ball game comes to an end. A little bit of a thrill, though, in the top half of the ninth inning on the Cordero home run. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We'll wrap things up as quickly and painlessly as we can in just a moment. The final score here today, the Gastonia Honey Hunters 13 and the Lancaster Barnstormers 4.
Being over 55 does not mean a ticket, it means 10 with the Silver Stormers Club presented by the Lancaster Barnstormers and Audiology Associates of Lancaster. Anyone 55 and over can enjoy baseball action at every Tuesday home game for only $50 on the season. That is nearly a 70% savings. Members also receive a special Silver Stormers t-shirt to wear proudly at the stadium. For more information or to sign up, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and look in the season tickets section.
Rock with the 5-time Tony Award-nominated musical Rock of Ages at Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, April 22nd through May 14th. When a development company plans to turn the Sunset Strip into another strip mall, it's up to a group of wannabe rockers to save the day and the music. With music from Styx, Bon Jovi, Poison, and more, Rock of Ages features all your favorite 80s rock anthems and power ballads. How can you resist? Call 717-898-1900 or visit DutchApple.com to reserve your tickets today.
13-4 final score this afternoon. The Barnstormers get the season off on a winning note Thursday night and then drop the next 3 here at Caramount Health Park. The Barnstormers will head to High Point with the 1-3 record. Today, 13 runs, 12 hits, no errors, 9 left for the Honey Hunters, 4 runs on 7 hits with 2 errors. Lancaster strands for the win to Spencer Bivens. He is 1-0. He worked innings 4 through 6, twirling shutout baseball. The loss to Brent Teller, nothing going right for Brent in his 1 1/3 innings of work. He is 0-1. We saw some home runs today for Gastonia. They came back-to-back in the 3rd inning of Tommy Shirley. Joseph Rosa with a 3-run shot. That was his 2nd of the weekend. And then Luis Roman followed with a solo blast, his 3rd homer of the campaign. For the Barnstormers, well, the offense all belonged to one guy today, Andretti Cordero. He's exciting, and he was 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and a single off the top of the left field screen. The other at bat, he grounded out the third base, but a very effective day for Andretti Cordero, including his first 2 home runs of the 2022 season. There should be more to follow. Time of our game today, we do not as of yet have it official, but it was in the neighborhood of 3 hours and 15 minutes. I think I finally can get to the official time of game now. They have just posted it. 3 hours, 15 minutes. I was correct. 1768, again, the attendance here this afternoon. Ultimately, outside of the booming bat of Andretti Cordero with a 3-run homer in the 2nd and a solo shot in the 9th, the story of this ball game was a series of just bizarre mishaps with Brent Teller on the mound in the bottom of the 1st inning. For the first 5 batters, it was on Teller. He gave up a couple of base hits, a couple of walks. 1 run had crossed the plate. He did benefit from Gastonia giving him an out, as Joseph Rosa thought he was tagged out on a slide into second base on a steal attempt, but the pitch was ball 4. He had the right to second base, and he gave it up. He walked off thinking he'd been tagged out. Melvin Mercedes, who is smarter than your average bear out on the field, realized the mistake, went and tagged him, and Rosa was out on that play. That gave Teller and the Barnstormers a 2nd out, but then Jake Skoll plunked a bloop single just in front of the diving Devon Torrance out in center. Alex Holderbach hit a slow ground ball on the left side. Andretti Cordero had to take the play. Lohr would have never been able to get there and get off a throw. Cordero cutting across, going a long way to his left, got a glove on the ball, and then deflected it past Lair. 2 runs scoring on the infield single. Connor Owings came to the plate. He hit a fly ball out to left, and that fell just in front of Anderson Felice, bounced past him for a single and a 2-base error. That allowed the 5th run to score. And then Eric Jones completely mishit a ball, but was able to dunk it in just past Peroni down the right field line to drive in the 6th run. Then in the 2nd inning, a run had already scored on a sac fly. There were 2 men on board when Holderbach, in a 7-3 ball game, hit a routine fly ball out to right field. Routine, were it not for a brilliant blue sky, and Zagunis at the last second lost track of the ball. It fell in for a 2-run double. It was 9-3. Back-to-back home runs in the 3rd made it 13-3, and that was it until Andretti left the yard again in the top half of the 9th inning to bring us to the 13-4 final score. Taking a look at what else is going on around the Atlantic League on this Sunday. The only game still in progress has Charleston leading Staten Island 5-1 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Dirty Birds appear en route to a sweep of that series. Long Island tops York 9-4. The Ducks taking 2 out of 3. Southern Maryland in first place in the North. 3 games out of 4 they took against the defending champion Lexington Legends. Today's game 5-2, and it was High Point evening their series against Wild Health at 2 games apiece with a 7-2 victory in a ball game here today. On the Major League slate, the Colorado Rockies finishing off the Detroit Tigers 6-2. Tampa Bay 5-2 over Boston. San Francisco once again slamming Washington. It was 12-3. Miami over Atlanta 5-4. The Yankees easily passed Cleveland today 10-2. Cincinnati 4-1 over St. Louis and Adam Wainwright. Houston rallied for 2 in the bottom of the 10th to beat Toronto 8-7. Minnesota got the walk-off homer in the bottom of the 10th, the 2-run shot for a 6-4 win over the White Sox. Pittsburgh topped Chicago 4-3. How about the Cubs? They won 21-0 yesterday, didn't save anything, and lost by 1 this afternoon. Bottom half of the 8th inning, the Angels lead the Orioles 7-6. Oakland has defeated Texas 2-0. The Mets over Arizona 6-2. The Dodgers, who's going to stop them, pounding San Diego today 10-2 as Clayton Kershaw goes to 3-0. The man who got pulled from a perfect game with 13 strikeouts after 80 pitches. A lot of controversy there. Kansas City and Seattle 4-all in the top half of the 11th inning. And in a Sunday night game, the Phillies hosting the Brewers, no score in the top half of the 2nd inning. The Barnstormers from here head to High Point, just up the road a piece, the travel partner of the Gastonia Honey Hunters. We got about an hour and 15-minute trip to the hotel in Greensboro. We'll start a 3-game series against the High Point Rockers on Tuesday night. Cam Gann, who pitched very commendably, 1 out short of being eligible for a win here on opening night. He'll come back around and make the start on Tuesday against right-hander Jason Mansueta. Dom DeSabatino will go on Wednesday against left-hander Justin Nicolino, and then lefty Augie Silk on Thursday against right-hander Cooper Cassad. Each of those games scheduled for a 6:35 start from Truist Point. We'll be broadcasting, I would imagine, most of that series from that quirky angle down the right field line. Enjoy that and some of the quirks of that ballpark with me as the Barnstormers take on Jamie Keefe and the High Point Rockers for that 3-game series. After that, the Barnstormers come back home and take on the York Revolution to open up the 2022 home schedule Friday night at 6:30. If you do not have your tickets, go online to LancasterBarnstormers.com or stop by the box office during business hours sometime this week and make sure you're ready to go for Friday night and 80s night at Clipper Magazine Stadium. So until then, for our video producer, Ryan Cortazzo, all the cast and crew back at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and our presenting sponsor, Gockenauer Appliances of East Petersburg, I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening, everyone, a great Monday. And then come Friday, we'll see you at the ballpark.